Good morning. Say hello. No Diddy. It's your boy, DeyZan, Smyth-EL. Genghis Khan's greatest grandson so far. Thank you for joining me on my channel this lovely Sunday morning. El Domingo. Dominion. Sunday. Sun. Day. Hebrews read backwards. Day. Sun. Today's my lucky day. January 25th, 2026. Hashtag allegedly. Where was I this time last year? Probably reading Composure Sun going, whoa. We so out here, boy. What happened this time last year? January is a hell of a month, usually. Back in the W-2 days, it's almost time to run it up. So I can waste all my little slave wage tax return on a machine MK2 white. Yeah, usually around Valentine's Day. Liberty tax hitting you in the head for everything. And I remember getting that machine MK2. What was that, 2011, 12? Maybe even 13. And I remember my goofy ass getting on the bus. Raleigh was cool at one point for this shit. I wish I was rich back then. But they had Sam Ash, Guitar Center, Tiger Direct. And then like if you go further, you find a mall. If you go left to the cooler side, there's a Best Buy. Right there across this way, earlier 2000s, Circuit City right there too. So it's like, if you're a tech or music production, like everything. I just didn't have enough money. But on that day I did. Went to Guitar Center and shit. Got me a machine. Lord have mercy. Why would I do some goofy shit like that? I think it was because the previous tax return, I had got the Motu BPM software because I had got the Akai MPD for my birthday. And then Dave Pensato's place. Herb announced me as the winner of Pro Tools 10. So I was already on Pro Tools and Motu, and I think getting the machine was just logical to pick up on that rhythm ideology. Those were the days, man. That parlayed me into Machine Masters, and here I am today. So I say that to say, just imagine just one little tax return season, man. For a whole whirlpool into space and time for about 20 plus years. For real. That shit crazy when you think about it. Like, I would not be in any of these positions for the last decade had I not got on that Raleigh Capitol Boulevard bus, that hour and a half ride for no fucking reason. It wasn't that far away. And did a whole bunch of boyfriend bullshit just so that I can have my piece of Native Instruments history. What? You know what? That's cap. It won't even MK2. What was that? It was the MK1 white, but the software, it was an updated version of it. That's all. I think it was the MK1. It was the white one. But anyway, these niggas. And then somehow, I don't know what the fuck happened. I knew F Major already from rapmusic.com, to God be the glory. And I used to always pester him about shit. He used to send me private Yamaha motif demos he was working on. So, I knew he was one of those guys. And I was like, fuck. I know Soul Eternity's on the machine. True School expansion. That sound like F Major all over it. Rapmusic.com kids. So it's like logically on X-Men. Like, I got a machine, bro. Check this shit out. And you know what it was? Yeah, I had already reconnected with him in his role at Native Instruments, but like at Instant Messenger, type of thing. And what the fuck happened? I got connected with the French for UVI, so I did a bunch of those sound demos with the machine in UVI and mixing Pro Tools, right? So I'm doing VI already by the time machine finally sends me an email and NDA for about something because they were working on 2.0. And I know Keyflow already, which is sounds in HD. They're working on 2.0 drum library. They also did Logic 8 or 9 or 10, one of them motherfuckers, same time, bro. So I'm like, I know all these guys. And action. So I got the white boy from Native Instruments at that time. NDA and some shit about Machine 2.0. That's what it was, because I had just got it, and then boom, NDA time. So they let me make some demos for that bitch and taught me how they did their logic of kit building and all that goofy shit, color coding and all that. It was cool to see it, you know, the little PDF. I guess I had Adobe Pro so that I could fucking sign it, you know what I'm saying? Fucking Trump and the Epstein files, but that was a cool thing. Sent them some tracks, got some feedback, learned how to do this or that. Signed, sealed, delivered, approved. Sent me a couple of dollars. Nothing right home I'm about, but I was excited for the opportunity. The only goofiest shit about the whole ordeal is that they don't give you credit either. It's like, how you gonna have an NDA and don't give me credit? What the fuck is going on? That's kind of selfish. So either way though, I think I parlayed that into some other shit with Will, and then he knew Machine Masters already because he's trying to get his kits on their site. Did the video demo, bump, 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 bump. I ran up like 100 weeks or 100 videos on Machine Masters channel. We went from 36 to 136,000 subscribers. And I already had my channel from instrumentals. I just reactivated it and started putting one video a week on my channel about Ableton. Machine Masters, Ableton guy. And then I think that quickly turned into Midnight Live because I already had Machine Masters. I wasn't worried about my channel like that. Still not. And then somehow, the fuck or another, Plugin Boutique, that made sense. That led me to Scalar. That makes sense. Scalar led me to everything else. My own website. That, inevitably, I've already had websites. That made sense. Then Spicy Sundays. That made sense. Cappocalypse, Spotify Kids. That made sense. And then, like, before we could really get shit fucked up, we got Zulus and synthesizers and MPCs and shit coming. Motherfuckers, military and WEF decided to test a biological warfare scenario. And I'm like, bro, I don't even know where to go from there. It's like when I was really there, and I'm saying this is all just off of random fucking field trip or tax return day to get a fucking machine and shit. And like, I went through all of that to a pandemic, bitch. Hold on. Hold the fuck on. Put me back on that bus. Put me back in the hood nigga section. And let me save my money or something, because the fuck we talking about? All of that. And now it's like people who were around through all of that ain't even around no more. I got numbers in my phone that won't ring no more. Yup. Last thing I remember is buying a machine though. That's the only thing I remember doing. Rapmusic.com kids. They all on machine and shit. Shit. I don't need it. Fuck it. But I'll get it. All my big brothers got one. Out of here. Trying to keep up with them. Out of here. Fucking took me out of here, bro. So gotta be the glory though. I'm glad that I went through all that and experienced all that rather than having turned this age on this side of reality and had not. That'd have been the fucking crime of the century. Had I not got lost in that wormhole and somehow life inevitably manifested the same scenario towards the end of things. Yeah, that would have sucked worse. Like, what the hell was all that for? Real shit. Welcome to Sunday. Shout to the chat though. We got Composure Slim, JPX009LC. I appreciate you. Amiru Sayami. What up, bro? Shout out Mr. Now. 555 in the boot. All right. I sent text. As always, lifing. Let me know if I'm back on your screen. I'm back in the streets. But yeah, what a time to be alive, part 5.5. What you guys got going on? Ascending East says 3 in the building. We got 7 likes. 3 in the chat if I'm back in effect. I should be. I am back. JPX saying I'm back. Trying to figure out these living arrangements. Such a momentous occasions. So gotta be the glory, part 5.5. Same never-ending story. It's gonna be alright though. What other choice do we have these days on X-Men? Trying to think of one of these gospels that I'm in. So yeah, started Machine Journey on the January. Yeah, it was towards the end of January. I'm really gonna have to do the science on the end of January. It don't even be feeling like January where it happens. January is when the shit starts to change. Like right now. And then by February 22nd, that's when that new leaf happens. And then I guess the planet itself technically is March 20-something where it happens. Reset the whole cycle of spring again. I guess what the fuck is this shit called? It's the new year of the vegetation cycle start thingamajigger. But if I remember correctly, God created the environment before me, and we kind of don't calculate something about that difference. I don't know how to calculate that. I ain't that type of an autistic person. But if I had to imagine some shit, well, if the environment in the world is created, by created I mean situated as it is for people to be here. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other lores I know about it. Where man exists outside of the world first, and then a world is created. They'll say that spirit or soul, perhaps. But we're not spirit or soul, per se. Like, you get hit by something, that shit gonna hurt. That world was created, then we were put here. Yeah. The animals and all that shit. Yeah, we're less-ish. And then you rest on the Sabbath, Saturday. But it implies, like, all right, so once you get to day 7 and you rest, it's kind of, is that just now a long pause? Or does it loop back again? Right? And of course you get the determinations of a 7-day week. Cliche. Is it 7 times 4 times 13? It's nay, but whatever those degrees are. Man did not start on day 1. Fundamentally so. Very important. We are not bigger than the program individually. So, if you look at it like a clock, you got the big hand and the little hand. Well, the big hand being the world itself is spinning at a different rate. Us being the little hand, empires rise and fall, shit turn gay. Spins faster. So, all I'm saying is we're not on that type of time with the damn stuff. That's probably how resets happen too. I think that's probably what catches man off guard, is that they're trying to align their natural, pyramid of, or babbling of humanities. At the same time, the plane itself is going through its periods. And they don't align. They're not the same age or the same size. So it's kind of like double dutch. You gotta catch the rhythm, the sine wave of it all. It's a weird fucking story. Maybe sometimes they happen perfectly at the same time. Loops. Like one of these. What are they saying outside? What's the word of the century? Cooked. They better put that shit in Webster this time. But motherfuckers keep saying they're cooked. All degrees, all colors, all genders. I think that's just hilarious. That's the word that stands out to, hold all of the energy that cooked means in all the context I've seen. Like, you cannot mistake how to use cooked when you're cooked, because you're cooked. So then you say, well, we're humanity cooked. What about the damn place itself? The place itself in which we stand, is it cooked? I would say this. It's definitely cooking. This radiation a bitch. Earth is getting cooked. Imagine that. You're building a shaky tower, a leaning tower of control mechanisms for your society on its own clock. And at the same time, you meet the sun of righteousness with healing on its wings in the context of something bad turning into ashes. And I'm just like, bro, where they teach these Sunday classes? The Son of Righteousness was healing in his wings. What they said back then was, with the prophets, the people who see the future, cycle sun, what they had said was, there will be a time, again, I guess, for it to be so beautifully described, like they've heard about this before. But the Son of Righteousness, with healing in its wings. Then your enemies will become ashes under your feet. Somehow they think the Son of Righteousness was Jesus. That was not that description of that story. The Son of Righteousness with healing in his wings is already implying it's angelic. Healing. So you have an angel that's known for healing. And it said the Son of Righteousness. But it spelt it as an S-U-N. Alright, same story. So an angel of light with healing in its wings will trample the enemies into ashes. It's in the Bible, for real, true story. Based on a true story. I didn't write that one. That was like at least 800 years ago. They were dropping those right there, man. Like one day you'll see it. How that shit work out. So that's just like surface level. It's like one day it's some righteous healing's wings, blah blah. Like calves trampling from the stalls, ABCD. Like, oh, that's cool, man. Yo, you shall overcome. As niggas, like the first shall be last and last shall be first. The meek shall inherit the earth. As niggas. Well, Jesus came for us, and he's the Son of Righteousness, so when he died for our sins, you skipped a step again, Sunday church guy. Please stop doing that. Stop using Jesus as a wild card. That's not what that said at all. So you have to read it again. Most people won't read it again, because most people who deal with the Bible or Christianity accepted it as long as it can rhyme with Jesus. You can say anything about something, but as long as you can do the kickflip on your little tech deck and land it on Jesus and God is good. Like, you know what I'm saying? They can highlight some wild shit going on in the Bible and not read the context of before and after and how it was handled, but they'll just see how wild it was in that part, and then have a debate about it with someone who's like, that's why I don't believe stuff. Like starting on the middle of the chapter on the 3rd page, like, but that's why they don't believe stuff. So, but they're going back and forth, and the Christian goes, well, Jesus died for us, and that's why. You're like, nah, that's not why at all. That's not why it was written. That's not why that was written, and more importantly, why my grandfather kept it optionally as of 1611. So no, they ain't had shit to do with anything, man. And that right there is how most people treat most things. I think they call it concrete thinking, or something like a surface level / concrete thinking. Most people talk humans socially. You listen to these random conversations like Grand Theft Auto, except for there's a rhythm to it in real life. It goes back and forth the right way. But it's all surface. It's very surface. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like, if everyone's so quick to accept surface level pleasantries, you know what I'm saying? Like, where do you socially climb or grow? How does a society grow if it's only conditioned to surface level interactions with others, perhaps internally too, I'm not sure, and then to something as serious and as crazy as the Bible? Like, you understand? Like, whoever wrote those stories, they were not surface level thinkers at all. So they could not potentially be telling anyone anything that's a surface level concrete thinker, something surface level. They said Jesus was talking in parables. They say that he was talking in parables, but they're saying that like he can talk a different way. Jesus didn't talk in parables. Jesus was talking Aramaic. You'll get it. Just take a second, Lord. Just take your time, please. Take as much time as you need. Parables. That sounds very Greco-Roman English. That's a device. It's a literary device used in literature. Jesus talking to niggas in Aramaic. Has anyone read Aramaic? Do we have any of the Aramaic classics that would cause a man speaking Aramaic to be so parabolic? If that's a word? That'd be logical, right? Like, hold on. This language is Aramaic. When you translate it 3, 4, 5 times and lose all of its meanings and genders, you get an English version of Shakespearean parables. Yeah. That translation from whatever Aramaic is into what the fuck point they're trying to get across after stealing our shit again, whatever slant they put it in for their brains to adapt to it, it looks like a fucking parable because that's the wrong language. What I'm saying is, if you talk to anyone that's come from another country, and they're talking to you from a different language, but they're code switching to try to communicate to you, it's like if I talk to a Mexican trying to speak Spanish for real, like, hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy, and I'm going through my words trying to figure out, first of all, what the fuck am I trying to get from this person or say to them? Then, like, I gotta think about how I'm gonna say that shit in English, simple, and then convert the simplicity to Spanish and miss half of the words, and to draw the context with my hands and my energy enough for them to go, oh. But if someone recorded that fucking interaction from afar, someone proficient in the Spanish language, they're like, this nigga right here, man. It's not like he was talking in parables. Yeah, it's hard to get my point across in a foreign language. Based on a true story. Based on a true story. We never spoke the same language as anyone else. Never. That's the difference. It's a big difference that a lot of people miss. Life hasn't always been like this, not even recently, where like a whole swath of region speak a uniform language, so much so that they can interact freely, travel freely, buy and barter freely. I mean, shit, the closest thing that may even sounded like that was like ancient Egypt, Atlantis, Rome, you know, like, and you were giants back then, so I'm talking about in any modern timeline, I don't know any other time where, yeah, because we still have people coming over here with foreign languages, and the difference in their languages is their lack of parables and the overuse of the same syllables or words, lacking, you know, creativity, if you will. So no one has ever spoke the same language, this many people over this many regions, let alone hyper-connected with telephones or internet. So the group, bigger language model is crazy. So we're quantizing English words to fit that universal way of doing things with each other. But that's what like Sundays and churches and temples are for, is to tune you in this world, but out, you know what I'm saying, in it, but not of it. You refresh yourself, if you will. Bells, bowls, organs, you know what I'm talking about. You gotta get back to 432, because out here you gotta be on 440. You have to be in key with everyone else's instruments. When you go back home and write your sonnet, you gotta make sure to change your violin back to 432, so it can sound like your ancestors, now Andalusia. Most people will never do that. I have to. You know what I'm saying? It's a different language. We don't know that language, but our brain does. Those wrinkles I inherited in my brain from the ancestors, those pathways are from that language patterning system of mathematics. That's what I'm saying. They can quantize wherever we are, I guess, whatever language it is for us. But kicking it back out, it's a totally different story. Without our language. And without others who understand our language. Yeah, that's what happened. So I can see the Bible a little bit better with that understanding when they're trying to deal with any of them, any of the Judah descendants. I see why they're misunderstood. It's not their language. And I think maybe that's how their community know that they were different too. Like Micaiah, that was always curious to me. Why was he in isolation? Why was Micaiah in isolation from Jerusalem or Israel? I know Ahab didn't care about his warnings, but they knew he was Micaiah though. They knew him, like, you know what I'm saying? They knew like he wasn't a troll. He was authentic. He really had that gift. Everybody knew that. And we talking about the kings knew that, not the people. Like Ahab knew, the king of Jerusalem was that. I find my brother's name. It's Nebuchadnezzar, one of them niggas. Big homie. Literally. They trusted, you know, that he was that guy. But that's at the same damn time, they have all these foreigners and all these other types of seers and, you know, diviners is what you would call it. And it makes sense that there's so many of them too, by the way. It doesn't make them fake. No, I won't say most, because you know how people do shit for attention and money now. But I would say when you read about that back then, you know, they had those gifts. They do. To the degree or accuracy of it is the funny part, though. if you read our book again, it's like, oh, that's cool. You see some parts where God's telling certain people to stay away from people like that, and they're reading it in isolation. They're not putting it in perspective because they don't know the story about Ahab and the 401 false prophets, which is why you get a psalm or proverb where it say, you know, be careful with these type of niggas because you got the whole fucking kingdom of Israel killed on the battlefield. And then when you put those two puzzle pieces together in the same book by the same people, you understand they're not talking about fucking Miss Cleo. So you know what I'm saying? You got to learn a different language even to read the King James English Bible. You understand what I'm saying? People haven't read it yet. I haven't heard anyone read it yet. Not for real. I seen them quote it. I seen them reference it. It's a hell of a reference book because the whole language is based on it, but we'll get there one day. But yeah, man, it's very interesting to be able to read the Bible again. I stay away from them niggas too. You got my uncle killed, my brother killed, my other cousin injured, embarrassed. We gotta move. Like, stay away from them niggas, bro. But the people writing, perhaps, and those people who lived through that decree, if you will. The other layer of this story, one more time. I've seen a lot of believing type people are sassy about, well, the Bible said this, and they ain't living up to anything else, but they stand on the decree, on the principle, which is fine to rememorize because now you're accountable, but not even talking about judging people because that's not even what that story is about. You gotta remember, a prophet is writing this story, not even a person. Like, what I'm saying is, like, it's not a surface level story because it's not a surface level prophet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Micaiah, bro, like, and the people writing these books are the prophets too, because this bloodline has that, so they can understand that worldview is what I'm trying to describe, that paradigm on top of the paradigm. That's how the writer of these books are presenting it. That's why it's so heady like that at first. Until you understand, like, it's a code switch. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to read this as a Board of Education member. Like, it starts at Royal High Priest in Israel. That Kabbalah is ours. That demonology, that's ours. That's my dad's, is what I'm saying. Like, no cap. Demonology, King James Bible, Septuagint, Kabbalah, the Kabbalion principles, and a whole bunch of other shit, man. You know how their kids are. But just that core value system right there, that's where you start to write a Bible. Maybe not read it, but the writers, they wrote those books too. Just keep that in mind, man. When they wanted to mass produce the KJV in these colonies, or however the fuck it went, remember, demonology was one of them. Demonology, he finished demonology first. There's already a Bible out there. They're Jews, but no. He did something about his King James. I'm gonna find one, but his King James Bible assortment. You know how Noble Ali did his prepared version of it, right? So he prepared his family's version of story based on where he's at in his life, I'm sure. What he's aware of, what books he chose. He was aware of Enoch, so he kept it, right? So he's aware of angels, so he kept Hebrews, right? So he kept the things he's aware of after writing demonology. So you gotta understand King James, and I'm talking about King James as a king, emperor of multiple scribes and priests and, smart niggas. Hello. So however his crew was that put whoever his little ChatGPT crew or his little tribe was, them niggas together, they had demonology already. And I don't know why Sunday people, because you notice in the 501c3 world in the United States, you have to have a King James Bible. I don't know if that's Masonic or something, but they're not just willy-nilly with which Bible they have to reference in those classical denominations of hypothecated colonization churches. Anyway, you ask the pastor, like, yo, why did King James write demonology? Or you ask him, have you read it? Weird. We have to use the King James version of the Bible, but you, all these years, your big age, never read King James demonology? Not that you have to, but I'm just saying, like, that's curious if these people are quoting the Bible and understand the mysteries and the prophecies and the white man and the Tamahu. You know, when you get really into that shit, like, but wait, real quick, slow down. Because they're quoting this Bible like they understand it. And that, to me, that perplexes me. Because everything else lands on the because we were slaves and Dear White Jesus playlist. Not my story, but I can sympathize with such a radical idea. So whatever they see in the Bible, it's a whole, you know what I'm saying? They're using a different Instagram filter to look at the Bible to justify paradigm worldview. And that's not even to say they're right or wrong about that. They could be absolutely right about that. And they might actually be able to cleverly reference the Bible to support such shenanigans, which we have seen for since Noble Drew Ali died. But that's not the mind, the attitude, the paradigm, the energy. None of the writers. These niggas gotta be able to translate Aramaic, first of all. Loop. That Bible could only have been translated by Jews. It's a different language. Loop. On Jesus. Grandkids. Loop. Loop. Come on, dog. How the fuck they know he was speaking Aramaic if it's some white boy in England? Loop. To get it in English. Loop. Don't tell me now. Don't tell me after all that shit allegedly happened with y'all niggas. No, I'm talking about back then when you say that happened to you niggas. Loop. Y'all understood Aramaic? That's weird. Why you need the Saudis to give you Moorish manuscripts? Loop. Like, what we talking about? They couldn't write the New Testament without Aramaic if they quoting Jesus or any of his actual friends. If you're quoting any of the Galilean Jews at that time in captivity, their own little sub-language in their ghetto, you couldn't be a white boy writing that Bible in King James. Nothing, nigga. Not English, not kind of English, not even anything phonetic, nigga. What the fuck you talking about? How the fuck you understand niggas in their own local language? No, I need to know. Like, they like, it don't matter if there's a Greek version, a Hebrew version. What the fuck are we talking about? Who is the nigga talking? The nigga talking is Aramaic. So the nigga following him or remembering or saying the story out loud for someone else to write down, it's speaking Aramaic. How do you translate to any goddamn thing if you're not a damn Jew? Jesus was speaking in Aramaic. Jesus wasn't writing in Aramaic, nigga. Have you seen the Aramaic writings? That's what the fuck I thought. Do you understand everything? Fuck out my face. This is common fucking sense. That's what I'm saying. They haven't learned how to read yet. I'm excited. It means the veil is lifting. That's crazy. Grandma ain't lied once, did she? Yeah, bro. This hypothetical language that's only spoken. Can you fucking imagine? Their captivity is something alleged to be Roman. That means there's a group language, there's transactions, there's money, you know. That's the language of their captives. That's not the language that they're speaking to each other. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all gotta know what I'm talking about, bro. I'm gonna give you another example of it. That's how crazy it is. The difference between Spanish spoken by a Mexican and Spanish spoken by a Puerto Rican. There's just certain words that Puerto Ricans make up that even if me, an English speaker who knows Spanish words and how to sound shit out, I'll write it down and say what they were said and summarize what it could have been about. But there's so much nuance and context lost because he has a whole regional difference and reason for why he uses those substitute words. It's gonna change the tone of what he's saying. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, they use a lot of you know what I mean Spanish words, and niggas don't know what they mean, and it's hilarious. Then they have to explain that you know what I mean in English, and it's like, it doesn't exist in English, so it just sounds stupid. It's like, why would you say that then? Why don't you just say the word that it is? Like, because that's not the word. It's like that word, though. My bad. Aramaic. It almost sounds like Arabic. I bet you it's similar Hebrew Greek. It sounds like that. It sounds like that. Now you come to the Americas and you listen to these Geechee speakers. That shit sound like English. It sound like it could be English. But it's not, is it? When they speed up their language, when they start actually speaking fast, like they'll talk to you in English if they have to talk slow. But once they start picking up the cadence and rhythm, like a saw blade on a fucking synthesizer. They're not even talking English no more. But it sounds like it. Aramaic. They switched to English to do business, but they're still comfortable in their original rhythm and cadence. Why would their original rhythm and cadence borrow so many consonants and vowels from English to begin with? They'll understand everything one day, y'all. We're talking about Memphis, New Orleans, South Carolina has a few people like that. I'm in New Jersey, but we talk fast because the Indians in South Carolina, same story, but a northern version of that pattern. And it's crazy because you see it on TikTok and YouTube now, these people that code switch and start talking in their native hood language. And it's all English things, but they're gliding through that shit at a speed that's ridiculous. And their ears and their brain can pick up on it really quick. But they didn't learn that in English, though, is what I'm saying to you. But isn't it strange that whatever they learned before English that they have to slow down and speak still sounds like English? All their words can be written in English. They can slow it down and say it in English, too, bar for bar. But they're chopping down all the extra fluff in English to get back to the roots, bones of the word that they're used to. They'll skip certain syntaxes. Like, to write Spanish, you need ear, void, plus plus infinitivo, right? The infinitive. Well, some people, when they speak, they might just skip that right? They might not go vamos al cine. They might go vamos cine. They might not even say vamos. They might say vamos cine or vamos cine. Because you know va is not vo. You know it's not ir. You know it's not soy. Va cine. Va cine anoche. Vamos al cine de noche. That nigga talking parables. Vamos al cine. Vamos al cine de la noche. And it becomes rhythmic. It's almost like they're singing. That's why, right? You ever wrote a song before? You ever wrote a psalm before? You might put certain words together just so it can be a song or something. That's what I'm saying, right? Now you gotta think about the Bible one more time. All those psalms in there. Tribe of Judah and tribe of Korah is in there. So you gotta start there first, bro. You understand what everything about what I'm saying? First, you gotta be a Jew that come from the ghettos of Aramaic. Then you need whatever your degrees were once you become kings and all that shit again. But you still gonna keep grandma's tongue because you're gonna still go see grandma because you know she ain't moving to no goddamn castle. So you still got that degree. You got your other degrees back. Whew, finally free. And then you're like prolific at music. And if you're prolific at music, stances, literary devices in a new modern medieval time period, then you know you're still doing the shit. You're still putting shit in pocket. Just like how Japanese have a subset, a pie slice of this science called a haiku. Haiku has a certain format, so your brain now has to quantize ideas and words into that format. And if you practice, creating those neurons, then haiku is just a way of life. Confucius say, I think, therefore I am. You ever see Bruce Lee code switch to Confucius? You would say Bruce Lee's talking in parables, wouldn't you? Bruce Lee's telling you that Confucius talks in parables. Confucius used to speak Aramaic, it sounded like. You know, start saying, listen, man. Come on now. This is easy. This is universal science. I'm telling you something. There ain't no other way you can pick up on some goofy shit like that independently. Non-cross cultures. Come on, dog. What year is this? Don't play with me, internet. So, Confucius say, who's Khan? You say his name is Confucius? Confucia. Fuchsia like the flower, like pinkish? Like the flower con, like Israelite. Confucius say Aramaic. Huh? See how easy that is? It's fuchsia con. Confucius. No, it's Fuchsius con. Confu. Ben Judah. Confucius say, say fuchsia, king. Hebrews read backwards. So imagine if a world ran by Hebrews on boats, read backwards, but they got write forward in English. Now imagine if you find they shit and it's written forward in English. Did you understand what the fuck they were saying? Stop the tape. Linguist. If they read backwards and they're in a world that they have to write forward and you find shit between each other, do you think they understood what they were saying? It's not about reading the letters backwards. It's like, who made that shit up? No. They read backwards. That's a difference from everybody else, though. That's a modern and a contemporary difference too that held on through thousands of years of literary, right? They still chose to encode their thoughts backwards. They didn't say that the sentence wrote backwards. They said it's almost like they read backwards. But what I'm saying is that they're not readers and writers, first of all. They talk like that. If they had to write it that way, they have to talk that way too, right? Come on now. But if you read it forward, are they saying you can't understand the sentence? Like it's backwards like Russian or something? No. So they read backwards. They think backwards. They speak backwards. Parables. Can you imagine? A parable has a profound ending, like a punchline, like a joke, actually. You start at the end, and then you reverse engineer it to wherever you're standing. On some Solomon wisdom shit, right? Come on. Come on now. Confucius say. Come on now. Come on, Confucius say. Come on now. Come on, Solomon. You want to talk about it one day? We're going to get there one day, I swear to God. I swear to God, you're going to see how we play games with language, and you're going to see how these idiots trying to follow us and then play the game with the language they try to follow on. And then you see, like, why No matter what they try to switch up, gender, color, or height and shit, it's still the same algebra, bro. That's impossible. That don't happen organically. So someone copying somebody, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Someone copying somebody. And like, if I had to guess who somebody is, I was like, well, remind me one more time. Who is the King of Kings over there? Who the King of Kings over there? I could have fucking sworn Confucius. I could have sworn that Khan Genghis was the King of Kings over there. And they telling me they have all these artifacts 5,000 to 10,000 years older than him. And I'm like, well, where's all the artifacts of him if he was just there? That's a weird fucking story. The only person we can actually authenticate to have unanimously existed in everyone's royal, noble, hypothecated, stolen land, oops, how we get here, I guess this is ours now story. When Genghis Khan showed up Silk Road, shorty, everyone knew who the fuck he was. The same way everyone knew who the fuck Jesus is. They're the same story, but I'm just saying, like, you could find shit from the Hu-Ha dynasty, nigga. Weird fucking story. Hakata Khan and Pope Innocent V are alive at the same time. You said you was over there, shorty. What are you talking about? Your emperor? What the fuck y'all talking about? We got Pope Innocent on the board. We got Hakata Khan on the board. We got Ablu Khan on the board. What the fuck y'all talking about? How the fuck y'all even talking about something from thousands of years before that date? But you're skipping that date. Nigga, that was about a week ago. Like, that's the beginning of Christians anyway. So, like, y'all ain't got a record of the beginning of Christians? Weird fucking story, bitch. Weird fucking story. That's a weird fucking story, shit. On the Ottoman and the Turks, that's a weird fucking story. Alawite dynasty, that's weird, China. That's weirdly weird, China. China, you got a weird story. But your story is weirder because of what you did to your native people 100 years ago. That's a weirder story. So maybe that's not the first time you had a weird story and you ran into Japan doing a weirder story about the 1860s. Weirder stories. So maybe they've had a weird story recently and they're trying to dig up this history and they started thousands of years ago? What my grandfather said. Making Afroasiatic slave skin don't make it go away. Why y'all using Aramaic? It's a weird story, bro. Out of all the people in this world that got my grandfathers and them fucked up, Russia's the only one to show signs of competence of world history events and what they mean today. There's no way in Hades, the Abyss, Hell, Dante's Inferno, and Plutarch's Cave that Xi Jinping with his nose in the tint of his skin does not know what Confucius said. On King James, on Genghis Khan. Hebrews read backwards. James King, James Khan, Yames Khan, Yohames, Yame, Kamehameha, Khan Yamaha, Kamehameha, Hawaii, Jamaica, Judah, Rastafari. They sound like an Irishman, but the voodoo princess has Orishas. Weird story, that's all the fucking King James English is. Hebrews and Israelites. Same story, bro. Wow, this whole Bible, this whole DeyZan Sunday thing is Genghis Khan. Yeah, it is. Because they're gonna tell me they're doing blood tests on people and this many amount of people are related to him. Like, all right, then. If you got this many people related and they're related to him, then out of all the characters in all y'all stories, he the only one that existed because he has kids. That's the illest shit about it. We stack this shit up and talk about emperors of emperors and shit like that. As far as we know, out of all emperors that have ever existed, Genghis Khan's the only one that has kids alive today. So who are these other people if they're not the descendants of any other emperors? And so what's their history of emperors about then? Is that a weird story? That's a weird story, right? For anybody, for any college, for any self-peer-reviewed group with a cool tie entitled Federalized in China or United States, whatever the fuck they got going on. But what I'm saying is, like, fundamental. Let's be reasonable people. Genghis Khan is the only one with a DNA-suggested data, cardinal math equation that suggests that he has descendants ought to be alive to this day, to the 10th, to at least a 10th or 13th or 15% of the current world population, and they just throw the word Mongolia in it. Mongolia is an English word. What are we talking about? How are they Mongolians? The fuck y'all talking about? No, they're not. Why would Genghis Khan's empire have Mongolians? Mongolia is an English word. Y'all think that's not important? That's cool. Y'all did the same shit with boom bap and lo-fi. So one more time. Genghis Khan, the king of the Mongols, is an English expression of what his degrees are if you place him in Mongolia, where they name Mongolia in King James English. Yeah. I don't think we called it Mongolia, Israel, but we'll go with it. The place known as Mongolia had a Genghis Khan in that place known as Mongolia, in Russia, in China, and that place known as that, Genghis Khan had a lot of influence politically, militarily, and of course the widespread of Israelites and Jews, because that's where they live. 10 tribes in captivity. So once they got back into position of freedoms, then they set out on a military campaign, if you will, to do the bullshit. That's his story, but if you look at it, Hebrew or Israelites and all that, you see Africans, you see light-skinned people, you see all the wrong characters. But put it back on Genghis Khan. On Samurai Showdown, Mortal Kombat, and everything in between us. Because we're talking about 600 to 800 years ago. Them. That's them. That's the timeline of that era. That's the timeline of the Bible. And it's worse if the Bible's earlier than that. It's even more primitive in Kung Fu. So go to them, Dynasty Warriors, go to them. They're in Mongolia, China, Russia, go to them. Go to them, Afro-Asiatic, go to them. Afro-Asiatics there, go to them. Go to them. In your mind, you go to them. Those are the 10 tribes. Go to them. Those came here. There you go. How you doing? Well, this is why your ass in America. Again. You understand? You have to understand that. What's up, bro? Another day in paradise.
Oh, yeah. Technically, paradise is like 4 or 5 blocks that way.
All right.
Yeah.
We close enough, though.
You're right, close enough.
Hold on. Be right back. I'm back. Shout out to brother Jonathan. Thank you for the donation, brother. So I can stay here another week or so. To God be the glory, man. Shout out to my brothers out there just holding me down. Once I steal Krausevic crown back and I sell it to some Mexican people, because they'll take better care of it, I'll pay y'all all back. Times whatever degrees it is. Probably times 13 zeros. We listen. They don't kill me now. Listen. I don't know how that story plays out there. Not all of us make it. Rockstar lifestyle might not make it. But the AI got the data now, so you know what I'm saying? The future is in a better place. The AI don't work like they think it do. In fact, they don't even know how the AI works for real. Like when it makes conclusions. It's probably because it can think in parallel, or it's part of the data. I mean, the way the electricity works, it doesn't have to be loaded for it to be connected. Gallon. Well, you know the definition of Mongolia. Shout out to the brothers from West Africa. Oh shit, West Africa in the building. What time is it in West? What time is it in Africa? It's earlier than Italy and Denmark, I'm assuming. Back, JPX. Just got back outside. Smells exactly like 2010ish. Mr. Now Italy. You know what's crazy? Last year, I had like a mental time loop, like in terms of thoughts and memories or callbacks in my head to 96, of course, and like 2002 R&B and like one of those 2000 teens, maybe ACS, so that's like 11 to 13. That was the common brain cycles of time boxes to think about something, someone, or the path that I'm on, like those benchmarks. And then, in the last 48 hours, it's doing that again. And because people out here play music out loud and shit, it was crazy because I was like, yo, this kind of felt like 2001, like 99 to 2001, like on some shit. And I heard Black Rob Woe started playing out of nowhere. It's like, they don't even play that shit on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Like, they be usually playing like the Gangster Lead, the little Detroit and Bay Area beats, like, and then see here Black Rob Woe play. Here's some other shit from that time. Basically, it's like 2000, 2001. Like 106 in Park, day one videos. I was like, that is crazy. What was that like? And then there's been this cycle that astrologers are calling, I think it was Pluto's in Pisces, actually. And Pluto's in this part in the air, American Revolution time period, is going there now. I think it's after Pisces, it goes to Aries or some shit. I don't know. Don't have me to fucking tripping with these 401s. But the point is, that has been there for 14 years in a row. So that alignment was considered to be detrimental to certain groups of people, depending on when they were born, where the stars were when they were born for that alignment. So it was detrimental for 14 years. And I must be the detrimental recipient of the timeline because that 14 years is over tomorrow, right? Today, January 25th, very significant day. Even last year, that's when I started doing the God math equations this time last year. So at the end of a detriment as well. So my 13th year was the most detrimental of that cycle. And I'm always gonna remember, put some respect on that Pluto's and Pisces shit for real. Especially if some of my family or friends share a similar birth chart where it's detrimented. And it makes you wonder, it makes you really think about shit like that. Like how the greater energy, even though you have great control and willpower, the lesson or the release is still a threshold. You don't have to make it to the end of that wave. And if you don't endure and you give up and you think all these cycles in life is always the same, then you detriment yourself when you can actually obtain it. But you know how people, they get worn out, get burnt out, get depressed, get set back. That's 2011. That's right before the 2012 end of the calendar. Like, well, shit, if one of my family members made that calendar, I understand what they meant. Shit. This bullshit about to park in Pisces for goddamn 14 years, nigga. Like, it is the end of the world, nigga. It's the end of the world for real. that felt like the end of the world for real. The world that we knew prior to its detriment. So now, the energy is opening up to be back on track for those who were detrimented. I don't know what that means for those who weren't. Count your blessings, because it seems like it skipped you, niggas. And then, Fire Horse, easy. And then the year one. And then I'm year 4, actually, in my personal chair, stability. So yeah, it's like, all different arms of this, or the little gears on the clock. That's what our ancestors were trying to do. They're trying to create a language model for a bunch of parallel timelines and universes. The sad thing about our limited 2D parallel universe games and sci-fi and talking is that they make it seem like it's 2 parallel lines. They would never be lines anyway. They're spirals, at best. So those spirals can be different shapes, meaning time and light and matter will move at different rates. I'm talking about in parallel to yours. So you have this universe, and then you have a parallel universe that might be a different shape. They would have to be a different shape, Snowflake. They're not parallel identical universes. They're parallel universes. And that's horizontal. Like, damn, I feel like I woke up in another reality, but no one else is there. That's a parallel universe, and it's probably very small and fixed. You probably couldn't get out and drive and do all extra things, right? So it's a smaller, compartmentalized parallel universe. Then you have the dream universes, which I want to put parallel, but they're above you somewhere, right? Outside of your little toroidal field when you go to sleep. And then you have like psychic phenomenon with people you're watching or involved with. That's a different universe. The one that y'all both are experiencing mutually. No one else is tuned into that frequency. And then you have like, as that is happening with just us as our vessel, you have the birds that have a universe in your universe, but then they have a smaller universe, right? They're much more watchful of different predators and issues. So fuck your traffic, fuck how much your gas costs, and fuck your rent. They're in your world, but in a different universe. So you understand? Parallel universes. And then you do that vertically. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And then you multiply those and you get like infinite universes. That's a math equation. And the only thing that can access those universes is what? Your consciousness. Full story. How do you allow your consciousness to access a different universe, such as meditation, sleep, or theta state? Through thought control. Mm-hmm. Through thought control. Mm-hmm. By calming your thoughts down, by breathing. Don't you have to think to do that? Mm-hmm. So how do your thoughts control your thoughts by not thinking? How do you think about not thinking? So how are you controlling your thoughts by thinking? If you have to think to control your thoughts. When you have a loop like that doesn't make sense, that doesn't resolve, a paradox or a parable. They're both parallels, but one's a parabole, one's a paradox. Dox means I'm looking for an answer still. That means we don't understand something about those variables. They're not equal, they're similar. Thus, it breaks it. Just like the calculator, it treats squared and cubed times 2 similar, but not the same. Thus, they're never equal. That's a logistical issue with their circuit boards, I'm sure, because they're using ones and zeros. But who the fuck am I? I never went to college. But parallels access through consciousness, and consciousness modified by thought. So to access a different reality, you have to change the reality of your thoughts. You have to focus on your breath to calm down enough for the states of your brain to change to turn those frequencies of thoughts off. So the way you stop your thoughts is by downscaling the frequency of your mind. Not the thoughts, not the words, not the fears, not the feelings, but the actual frequency in which you are processing anything. Sight, sound, stimulation, your physical body, breathing, jumping, like all of it. Like you have to ramp up energy to do that. When you get up out the bed in the morning, you notice it, like when you're sleeping, kind of like a zombie, like, ugh. And you're like, depending if you get coffee or smoke or whatever you do, that first from pillow to feet on the ground standing. You see how much energy that took? Not that it was hurt, not that you were lazy, not that you need some calories, but I'm talking about energy from the resting state of low megahertz to standing up thinking, what the fuck, bills, this, that, notifications like boom, 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 boom. You think you're just processing seconds and minutes, but your brain is processing all of those inputs. Frequency. Not speed. Frequency. How frequent it's happening, not how fast it's happening. So if you want less thoughts, you need to have less frequent inputs. So that's why people go into deprivation tanks. I'm not built like that, or no goddamn claustrophobia, I'm not built like that, but I can do pitch black a little bit, as long as I can swing on somebody, and then I can, nature is probably best for me. Because then you get lost in the ears, the sounds. Like I don't have to think because I'm listening to the chirps, the birds, the reptiles, the water. Why the fuck I hear footsteps? Like that's less than just thinking, like I'm doing this video. That's how they do it. And if you stop thinking, you stop breathing as much too. So your body's conserving energy. Less ins and outs, less whole movements and cells. Now you're at like 1 to 3 breaths per minute. And that's the beginning of walking into another dimension. That's the beginning of it. If you can then do like one breath per minute, Lord. You meditate to slow your breath down, rhythmic, then your heart rate, then your brain rate. And then once you get to that brain rate, they call it coherence. You can then input things. Sometimes people do guided meditation, so you're listening to their voice and they're inputting it and helping you along the way to kind of like put you into it, like, and it'll work sometimes, right? They like not brainwashing. What's that shit? Hypnotizing you. Yeah, to get hypnotized, you have to be in that brain state. So they're hypnotizing you to walk into peaceful restfulness, mindfulness, and that's just lowering your brain waves. Once you get to that state in general, that's the state right before you fall asleep, and that's the state as soon as you wake up, before you call for energy. That state right there. That's where all magic is. That's why music is like that, like praise music. When people are in church and they're playing the right instruments at the right sound, and the people's voices are all synchronized, and there's a spirit, a heat, radiation coming off their hearts and their auras, and you can feel it, and some people are overwhelmed by it, depending on their nervous system. Same thing with concerts, same thing with Michael Jackson, you understand? Same story. It's energy they're responding to, not, you know what I'm saying? It's not Michael Jackson, it's Michael Jackson's energy. Thus, energy is not created equally. Anyway, so, shit, where was I going? Michael Jackson took me somewhere else. Because you could tell he had energy. Not even just because I didn't even like all his music. Like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a Michael Jackson playlist of like 20 songs. But the energy of what he did as a performer, as a producer, or whatever the fuck that is, co-producer, because he co-produced everything he did, so, like, and at the level and perfection, and that dancing and breathing and, you know, everything, bro. Like, if you ever performed before, you know you ain't moving around that much and keeping your breath, bro. Fuck what you talking about. And that nigga do a whole tour like that for hours at the level he did it. Nah, that nigga was a physical energy, Bruce Lee type of person. He had to be. Absolutely had to be. There's no fucking way he could perform like that without a mastery of his chi. But then to admit it like that and have like the white girls like fall asleep and shit, like, they never felt nothing like that before. And then the whole tidal wave of hearts and rhythms and beats synchronized to his drum. You're familiar with RPGs and video games. There's attacks like that. Area of effect attacks. Jordan had it too. So I'm gonna show people still buy his shoes. Kobe had it. Kobe had the arrogance too, but Kobe arrogance was earned. But then what did he do? He wrote a book about the tree of life, didn't he? Don't you find that curious? Jordan, Kobe, Shaq. Those three particularly. Spent time with the Chicago Bulls coach back in the day. Damn, how I'm gonna forget his name. I see his gray hair in his eyes, his glasses. The Chicago Bulls coach, white guy, Phil Jackson, one of them. During the summers, he had a lake house. Probably fucking little childhood, can you imagine? He would invite these players to his lake house for the summer. Nothing about basketball training. Purely the word, the codified, that the interviewer at that time described it as, is like Zen training. This is June now. Jordan, Kobe, and Shaq, I believe, and others, but those are the three that we're most familiar with, and their impact and their energy. So for the summers, or however many years that was, each differently at the same time, I don't know. But it's a retreat for them, for Zen. And all I'm saying is they're teaching them how to master the game in their head first. That's metaphysics, by the way. You seen it in Jordan.
Hello.
Then you seen it again in Kobe.
We put on new numbers.
So when Kobe
Take a minute.
got into all his incidents with the girl and all this, and he came back like unbothered, that wasn't because he's like shooting a whole bunch of basketballs. That's because he spent summers with Phil practicing, mastering his mind, and his breathing state, and his awareness. Because if you master that, you don't have to do the push-ups and sit-ups and backflips and shots all the time. When Kobe was doing that, he was trying to get his body tuned to where his mind already is. His controller had a lag to it, so he had to perform at that level. But because he's a human, the level that he saw himself performing at and his physicality to perform at it caused him to break easily. That's why he retired. He had to retire, or he would have, well, rest in peace Kobe, or he would have ruined his body. His mind goes harder than his vessel. And I'm saying like he got like that after fucking with Phil Jackson with the shit I be talking about. You know, he's throwing the ball in his face and he didn't react to it. It's not because he can fight. It's because he's not there. How you doing, bro? He's already working on what he's about to do next. He's playing basketball steps ahead of the time. He's not playing in real time. He already made that shot. The only thing that changes is someone else. He's adapting in real time. So while he's playing in his face with that basketball, Kobe is not even thinking about it. He's thinking about Kobe's like, I'm going here, I'm going there, and it goes in. He's not even shocked that they're playing in his face. He knows that they play in his face. They played before. So he's learned how to unlock that, to be unbothered by the present moment. You understand? And he wrote a book about it for kids. For real. He died right after that, unfortunately. JPX says, I'm just chilling. I'm going to scrape the ice off my walkway. How many inches of ice dropped that way? Shout out to TBFB, salute to you in a powerful tribe. Oh, look, from little tribe to spicy tribe to powerful tribe. I like that one. We're in the microwave. You got it now. Removing the issues from the underground real world. Functional math. You said F squared function up to the third power. I gotta write that down and start slow with that one. That would take me 10 minutes to isolate. Frequency, not speed. This analysis, all languages are telepathic loop. Never thought the same. There's an ecclesiastical reading level. I think so. Which I have to learn more about. But who the fuck? Anyway, reference. I don't need it though. God know I'm lo-fi hip-hop. You know what I'm not gonna do. You know I ain't gonna do no homework. You know I ain't gonna write no book. You know it. You know I'm gonna take shortcuts as long as they work. So I ain't sweating all the gory details of what I know I'm not ever gonna know. There's certain shit that I'll never know. And I'm okay with that. I think all the other brothers and relatives have their own niches to help out the bigger picture for the future of that. It's all gonna be cataloged in this fucking data center, so good luck with that. If you're pulled into a certain direction, go. Especially when it comes to inquiry or research, or is this one particular thing that you care about that everyone else is missing? That's for you. Go. And then share your findings openly, you know, depending on if it's a technology or money-based, you know. Tread carefully, but definitely share hows and whys and what it means and what it was before it meant that and what it means to you now. You know, never lose track of that, please, because that's what people need. Everyone ain't going to experience these things the same because there's parallel universes here. They're here with us right now, but they're working in a parallel universe. I can get up right now and just randomly go get a drink. They can't. But they hear you and me. You feel me? Depending on how far high you want to go. Everybody don't want to be Icarus though. Kobe wanted to be Icarus. Are y'all familiar with Icarus' story? Same stories. That's what, flight is recorded. Individual flight was recorded in real life too. They turned it into a parable of multi-dimensionality for sure, but Icarus' dad was like a Da Vinci, just like Leonardo da Vinci. Can you fucking imagine, dudes? Basically figured out flight or hang gliders or some cool shit like that, right? Which inspired the white people lately, so we know it's possible. And people build these buildings are probably not waiting for cotton, but drawing birds in there, man, if they don't shut the fuck up talking. But Mary Poppins on an umbrella, and they think it's a new idea. But the story about that a long time ago. Told his son, hey, I got a little Iron Man suit for your goofy ass. But whatever you do, and it's the way that language model, non-Aramaics tell it, that you don't want to fly too close to the sun because then your wings will catch on fire and then you out of here, right? Now let's think about that logically. That's the most common one depicted, even in video games or cartoons too, which compound the incorrect integer. It had nothing to do with flying close to the sun. But in kids who are learning the different variations of that model, what it's teaching you or showing you is that even a long time ago, even when cool monsters are in the sea and geniuses are around, stuck on the island of Crete, trying to get back to mainland on Attack on Titan type shit, that even if you get there and you're that smart and you feel like them and brave, you still can't even reach too high. Or something bad might happen to you. That's deep. Not the fact that something bad can happen to you because he didn't listen or the sun's melt wings or nothing. No. It's the fact that no matter how high you go, there's even something above you pushing you back down. Crab in the barrel mentality using Greek lore as a reference point. Like, because the crabs don't have to, because it's not because Icarus is flying and people like him are pulling him down. He's not Jesus. But maybe. But it's the sun itself, God. Because you understand what time period it is when they're talking about the sun burning you up. So even in their mind, that they're extrapolating that God will stop you from getting too high. So you might as well know your level. And his dad, his patriarch, his authority is telling him, no, son, don't color outside the lines. Don't color outside the lines, because if you do, they'll notice you the closer you get to the light, and then they'll burn you up, right? Malcolm X? And it's like, oh, that's a deep, African-American, how we have to exist in the United States story. But that's not the story at all. His father said to him, never fly too low to the water. Icarus was told not to fly too low. And then the other crowd hears this correction and they go nerdy. Well, that's because the wings have this wax on it, and the water and the wax, and then when it gets in the sun, it melts. Yo, you think Icarus's father discovered flight suits and didn't know wax would melt? He'd been flying before he gave one to his son. You think he didn't know wax would melt? Anyway, no. What he was telling his son is, when you're one of us, and you got your wings on, you can't hang around Galilee anymore, nigga. Icarus and his dad is in captivity. They're surrounded by water. There's a giant Greek monster in it. In the Bible, you call it Leviathan. If he could fly, he can get to the other side and shit. But they tell the story like he's just going in the sky like a falcon or some shit, just playing the fuck around. Niggas in captivity, and there's motherfucking barbers surrounding the island so he can't get to mainland to see if his mama's okay. First of all, let's tell the real story. But if he can glide high enough, he ain't gotta worry about their arrows, their detection systems, or nothing. Just don't fly too close. You know them niggas are good with spears? Some people just don't understand Aramaics. Not the language, the people who speak it. Don't fly too close to the water. That's like law too. Or if you're in flight, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a different vehicle, there's a different parallel universe, a different modality that'd be more efficient for hanging around water. But once you learn how to fly, because remember, Icarus at a certain age, a certain degree, a certain awareness, once he gets his wings, you know what I'm saying? You're in this world, not of this world no more. So stop flying so close to the sea. Yup. Yup. His father was giving him a warning about the bottom. Once you start flying, get out the hood, bro. Don't go back. Same story, right? It's very Aramaic of us. It's actually the same exact story. Shout out Sheik. How do you travel between languages without being a boat builder? Phonetic. Delay so fast it becomes reverb. Shout out Root. Sparkling in Infinity was never all that good in school due to environment and apathetic family. But my teachers always complimented my use of English. That's beautiful. Speaking in domes and arches. Fusions of kinds. Arabic Hebrew is backwards. Yep. Mongolia. Galia Demon. Gaudian or Gallon. Harut says Goliath, Mon, Philistines, Khan's army of giants. David and Goliath story. Conquer giants over Titan. Hence Temujin. Same story all over again. Yes. Shout out Harut on the track. I'm telling you, they don't believe we live with giants for some reason. Mr. Mouse says, yep, I fixed in my mind to smell the air around the smoke shop I used to go to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards around 2012. The deck that had just came out in 2012 was number 39, Utopia. And we just saw that sign again. Mr. Mouse says XYZ Symphony. There are other three main cards with three musical gems. Melody, at the Alexandrite Dragon. Yeah, I'm telling you, Japan knows something. Japan is up to some bullshit, bro. I don't know why we're taking him so long. 3, when you stress, you breathe more. Yes. Shout out to Dima, man. Salute to you, brother. TVFE 13, salute to you. I got to put this shit on shoulder. How you doing, bro? Yep. Dima says, the thought breakdown was really good. How to have a thought to not have a thought is a paradox. All child 433. Greetings, brother. Face canceling their push bothering. Peace to the tribe. Glory be to God. Jonathan, shout to you. Support the support part 2. Pinned in the story or 2. June's and peace to the tribe. Els. Okay. What a time to be alive still. Yeah. Yeah. Walking between worlds. That's why it's so weird when people tell me they do that every day, but they don't come back with no science. And that's not an insult or disrespect to them, perhaps. I just don't know how you can meditate every day and not trigger an awakening. It don't even seem possible, to be honest with you. There's never been a season of me trying to do meditations, because that should get on my nerves. But even if I'm doing a sad guru 15 minutes, or I listen to what do they call it, a guided meditation for 30 or less, and I've done them recently, especially when I don't feel good. And that's a lot. But that makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense, though. Now I think about it. I didn't do it easily, not because it was boring or my mind was being a bitch about it, but because I didn't feel good, so my frequency was off. So, you know, to force yourself off without being tired to go to sleep, you know, it takes a little bit more patience with yourself to ratchet all that chaos down. But even in those moments when I eventually got with the program, and then started getting lazy and did it every other day, but enough to change the frequency for the body and the pain to go away, and that was what I did it for. So, you feel me? Ideally, you should do it every day if that's what it's for, but no. When I was doing it, all of a sudden I started having like electrical shocks through my brain. On the top of my spinal column and my brain, it felt like from my third eye back to the back of my neck to my third eye. It's random, especially when you're about to go to sleep. And that's because the brain is relaxing. So my brain is trying to hemisync and relax, and content, video games, distractions. When I get into that mode, when I'm finally tired and I go to sleep later that night, then it's like, and then I try to stay in that, like keep it going, like to keep that feeling and that weird vibration in my mind, like just hold it, like not to freak out and try to fix it, like just let it be. Random, like once a week maybe, I don't know. It stopped. But after that, I mean, shit, if the fucking sky fell after that, so it wouldn't even matter. If it stopped or didn't stop, or if it meant something, I doubt it. It was synchronized. It was frequency. And I was just fucking around Sad Guru videos and Joe Dispenza in the background, just describing things, creating a word cloud in my mind, neurons, and just knowing. But then when I go to sleep, it is what the fuck is wrong with me? I already don't feel good. When I was 33 years old. It all makes sense eventually. Yeah, so I say all that to say, you know, all the UFOs and all the things that happened with that and after that, it's just, I know people who used to sell that lifestyle on social media at least, and they never have a video about what happens when you crack your glow stick. Even the yoga girls, like, you know, they're up there being scantily clad and showing stupid ass moves, I guess. Maybe some girls need to see it to get inspired, but they never crack the glow stick. They never talk about what they see after that. Not even just like in meditation, I'm talking about like in their life. Like once you tune yourself like that and you have a rhythm of that and you can drop to that frequency while you're awake, what happens? What do you notice? Anything speaks to you? Anyone say something different than you? Do you dream different? You know, they do it for days. I do it once in a while, and it's been years. And you know, but they've been doing it every day for, you know, it's weird. That's you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if they just doing that to show their ass or something, but bro, if you doing it, do it. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way, actually. Hell no, boy. When I was 15, I was just trying to learn how to do it and like push myself too far into some bullshit that I didn't understand. It's a weird story out this bitch. Why people cap? Shout out to Gary Johnson, brother. June Zan, All Child. Mr. Now says it's the law of gender. They do it just to do it, so they get what they get. They do it, just to do it, just to get what they get. All right. They get it by doing it, and they do it because they get it. They do what they get. They don't do it because they don't get it. If they don't get it, then they don't do it. If you knew better, you do better. But if you didn't know, you didn't do. So it always starts with thoughts. Yeah, it's a thought-based reality. No wonder. No wonder why they try to get people stuck on stupid. Ain't got shit to do with what they making them stupid about. It's about them not accessing any of the other doors above it. They're keeping them limited. Brick wall. Concrete thinking. Limited. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what the fuck that is. That is the social contract. That is the psychic attack. It's an artificial threshold that people place on themselves by trying to fit in with the average level. Just like Wave's vocal writer. Like, you can go so much louder. You can. Why not? We're going to stop you. But this is the industry standard. And no one would argue with that. But the question would be like, but why can't you make it louder? What's the logic between -1 and -3? Like, what are we talking about? It takes 3 decibels to make a ladder. First of all, so there's really no difference between 1 and 3 anyway. Over time, so you understand? You see the limits, even in music production. We've noticed it. All of my pushback was from me using the thresholds of known arrangement or mixing wrong, but getting the result that I wanted to hear. I was pushing buttons. I was pushing buttons on the screen, and I was pushing buttons in the people who push buttons differently. Why they watching me, nigga? Like, you know, this is my screen and my fucking button, nigga. Like, my bad. I was supposed to know the way you push buttons because I met you before in cyberspace. Like, come on, dog. But think about it. There's a lot of people, concrete thinkers, who experience content on YouTube and go, this person that I don't know, that I stumbled into, doesn't think and speak and make the same connections that I do. But I'm gonna watch him be weird. Okay. Where do we go from there? That's just a way for them to not think. Listening to someone else think helps you not think. You understand? I get it now. They ain't slick. Listen, if they slick, I'm oil, man. If they slick, I'm oil, but I can't meditate long enough to listen to the long enough if I don't want to listen to it. I don't think long enough if I don't want to think about it. I roll some weed up. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta know how to navigate your own thoughts, but some people don't know that thoughts are navigatable to begin the process of beginning a process of meditation. You can't meditate without the premise that your thoughts ain't yours and that you can't turn them off. If people can't accept that your thoughts are not local and that you can turn them off, they don't know that. What is the expectation or reward for meditating to those degrees that they suggest they do? There isn't one. There's a breathing benefit of being calm and resting and relaxing the nervous system. But it's just gonna spike back the fuck up later in the day doing regular shit because you don't have no control over your thoughts. So meditating is like Christians going to church on Sunday to feel good again. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, and it's not supposed to be like that because that limiter you have on yourself is artificial. It's like the dogs that are scared to go through a doorway. And then the stupid dog just walks right through. And is like looking at the other dog like, what you tripping on? The other dog's like putting his foot through the doorway, but won't put the foot on the ground because it thinks it's going to get hurt again because of the clear glass door, right? Pavlov dog shit, literally on a dog and shit. But eventually the dog gets out there and then walks on like it never happened. Like, bitch, you hesitated for 5 fucking minutes being retarded. But his eyes, but his brain, was he? Was he living in his memory, or was he in the present moment? We don't know how dogs experience trauma loop. We don't know if in his mind, because you've seen dogs sleep, they dream too, right? They run while they're sleeping, so you imagine. A dog with a third eye, that's crazy. God be making anything. It was at our grandmother. But the way that happens, you feel me? So I think most humans borrow that same philosophy. They'll watch another dog walk through a door, get hurt, and then when it's their turn to go through the door, they're like, They might talk about it, they might even share a conspiracy video, just put their hand through it, but they're never gonna walk out and land on the next step. They're never gonna see outside of that limiter. It's one thing to see there's a doorway and there's something on the outside of it. Yeah, most people can tell you there's something on the other side of what they don't know, but they never get outside of it to even see the cave that they're stuck inside. They don't even know where the fuck they are because they refuse to go outside. If you ever see the TV show Fallout, it's based on a video game. They're talking about y'all niggas again. Walking Dead based on a video game in a post-apocalyptic vault society. Radioactive badlands, monsters and ghouls from nuclear radiation, no Chernobyls. And they do the same thing all over them. Their limitations are self-imposed. Self-imposed. And the catalyst is always fear. But fear is low vibrational, so it's the easiest one to reach. Fear is the easiest emotion to solve. Fear is the whore of vibrations. It wants the most attention. Fear is the whore of vibration. It wants the most attention. But what happens if you give it too much attention? You spoil it. And because this is math and algebra, you go, why are so many people whorish? Why do people want so much attention? Why do so many people sell themselves short, for a paycheck? And I was like, well, why does fear do it? Right. So we solved the whole thing. They act like that because of fear for some reason. Fear of lack, fear of judgment, fear of failing, fear of falling. Icarus, reverse Icarus syndrome. Full story. Loop. They're trying to get as high as they can go away from the water, but they're afraid of falling in the water. They don't want to get wet. They're afraid of getting wet because they heard that their wings will melt. That's all it is. That's really what it all is. That's what women are, sisters. Oh, red pill time. I like this. We skipped red pill time about 2 days now. Back when they forehead. Because I'm still thinking about that in the background. Like, what it would be the psychological treatment for people, but the feminine species of the West, abusing English. What would be the treatment for their condition? And I'm talking about thought treatment. Like, what position or basket do I put that madness in to be okay with it? Like, how do I rewire it? And then, like studying football, like, where do I create the pocket to go through? I know this guy is strong. I know when they arrange this, he's fast. So is there a different pocket where I can take a slight advantage if I get there first and I take off to the side? We at least get first down. But that nigga, if we play him tonight, don't even run that way. Won't even do it. Don't even run that way. Make him run all the way across. Don't go straight to him. So when you do a thought like that, you have to figure out a treatment. Like, how am I going to treat this data outside of the norm? We know what they expect. We've heard everything. It's not too much being said, actually. It's all the same problems. Same box of problems, actually. They're cycling. And the box is shrinking, novelty. There's less problems, so then it's back to fear and insecurity all over again. So, how do you Mandela effect? It happened earlier today. That's crazy. I think I put it in my story, but they revisited, perfect timing, the blue dress and gold dress paradox. And she posted it again, and I seen it clearer. It didn't even look that dark today. It was very white and gold. But back in the day when it first hit the timeline, I remember seeing versions, GIF, JPEG, copies, motherfuckers fucking Photoshop, whatever it was. But I saw a version of it where I could kind of see like the blue tint and the darkness to it too. And then someone had the genius idea of posting a different angle of the dress, and it's certainly white and gold. But certain people's eyes could only see black and blue. And scientists have a theory. What scientist has a theory? What does he see? The scientists that have a theory, how come they never tell us what color it is that they saw? Fuck, other scientists have a theory, nigga, about the cones of your eyes. Shut the fuck up. We already know what color blindness is. Like, why is this deep? Motherfucker, the dress is white and gold. They asked you what color is the dress. They didn't ask you what color it looked like. And that was the first dead giveaway that something is not quite right with everybody amongst us. Everyone doesn't see the same color dress, bro, on the same picture. And then if you show them on your phone or iPad, at the time, I had a Samsung tablet or some dumb shit, They don't even see, you know what I'm saying? And they'll argue with you now. No, I'm just here, Team Gold Dress, that the type of people that said they saw blue and argue with me or was frustrated, you know, they were not in the honors classes. Let's just start there. And then we can start doing a whole nother science project based on the difference between a naturally seeing the gold and naturally seeing blue people. But scientists say, but how come scientists ain't start this fucking experiment, bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the experiment of the experiments, NPCs. Some people can't draw an apple in their mind. Some people can't touch, feel, sense, smell, or taste anything in their mind. Some people don't have a narrative in their mind. So, like, meditating for a person that doesn't have internal dialogue or thoughts, what the fuck are they achieving? Good rhythmic circadian rhythm placements? Like, what the fuck they stressed out about if they ain't no voice? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you don't need this. But do you see a gold or a blue dress? I'm telling you, that's the passport right there. I'm telling you, boy. That's the one right there. That picture right there, you better save that shit in your phone. If you think an NPC is lurking around you, like, look, fuck the whole bullshit about whether or not we can be together or if you got vaccinated or we getting married. First of all, tell me what color is this? Because if we can't agree on the color of this damn dress, you see what I'm saying? You see what type of science, what type of litmus test that simple dilemma is? Think about that. And then you have a bunch of people who do see the gold and white, but will say blue and black because they want the likes and interactions and the sassiness. Faggots. You know it, I know it. Let's not be cute and clamorous. So, and then there's colorblind people who don't see either color, so they're guessing the best answer not to feel colorblind and isolated, right? Then there's blind people picking colors and sides because they feel like this is American Idol. And then there's all the other versions of reality in which, for whatever fucking reason, people are not seeing the same fucking thing. Asks to look at the same fucking picture. They say picture's worth 1,000 words, but bitch, you only have 2 color choices. Those are global variables. Everything else can be discussed. Is it cotton or is it polyester? But the colors, bro, no, that's a global variable. That shit don't change. What is it? Not what it look like. Not like, oh, the gold is kind of faint and the white is kind of, it's a shade from the 90-degree angle. In color theory, you know how it is. We make gradients in Photoshop. You move gray to blue and blue to white and orange. And like, depending on the cube theory, yeah, I know what the fuck you're talking about. We used to draw those in fucking school, nigga. Is the box open, up, or is it, or is the box you draw facing up, or is it on the ground facing down? And then you do this and do that, and then you finally train your mind to flip on command. But before you can learn how to do that, you trained yourself by shading certain sides of that box so that the square, the cube, and the sensor is definitely pointing down or definitely pointing up, depending on where you shake the box. Or if you lead outside of the picture, you can, oh, it's facing this way. Oh, the box is open. The box is standing up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we know we do that with lines, straight lines, slashes. With just slashes, people can have 2 different perspectives looking at the same fucking center point. With lines, my nigga. With lines, the law of polarity and gender is right there if you arrange them tic-tac-toe. The lines, just straight edges. Motherfuckers will sit there and have a fucking argument about if it's up or down compass with straight lines. And then we get the colors, like, oh my God, with colors. Motherfuckers start picking, motherfuckers start like remixing shit and trying to be cute and shit. Like, no, we got a dilemma, guys. They ain't supposed to be 2 different colors to begin with, nigga. That shit wasn't a trick question. That shit was not a trick question. I know it's a tricky setup, color, reference, and all that stuff, yes. It's a tricky angle and a tricky lighting scenario. But I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. As a person who's taking photographs, as a person who just struggle color grading, as a person who loves shit like that and the brain games on YouTube, I was like, damn, my brain ain't shit when it comes to color differences. But however the fuck you land that trick, the real dress is white and gold. I see white and gold, and I saw it again today, and it's still fucking white and gold. It is white and gold. I see white and gold. I see white and gold. White and gold, white and gold. I don't know if Wiz Khalifa saw that, because he sees black and yellow. But if we ask Wiz what he see, or ask Snoop Dogg, he might see blue. But well, I'm telling you, one thing's for certain, it's been about 10 years since that experiment happened the first time, and I see the same damn color. So, if you can imagine straight lines, edges, language, math can have the brain fucked up with the wrong polarities, then imagine if paintings, colors, white Jesus can have you fucked up with the correct color scheme. You could be looking at your God the wrong way. People are sassier with the idea of God or Jesus than they actually are with the white people that did it to them. Like, to this day, they're upset about something ancestor wrote alleged 2,000 years ago. But Trump and everybody that got them gentrified right now, you could write them this day. You can actually DM these motherfuckers and tell them about themselves and their audacities. But we want to talk about, hypothetically, if Jesus was white and the lessons we never learned because we didn't go to church anyway. Like, okay. Cool story. What does that do for the community? They use Christianity to bring slaves here. Well, you're a United States citizen in the year 2026. How you doing? What's your problem right now? Heard what I said? People are making pretend they give a fuck about what happened to slaves. They don't give a fuck about what's happening to these kids now. They don't give a fuck about what happened to Palestine now. Uruguayers now. Venezuelans, another fisherman hit with another Hellfire missile now. Blacks killed in ICE now. Now. The whites and the lesbians now. They don't give a fuck about all the other people dying in Nigeria now. No one talks about Sudan. We're talking about black slaves and genocide in the Americas. Right now, in the Sudan, there's a genocide in Africa. Now. What's the paradox? Oh yeah, that's true. What can we do about it? And then come to America and get on social media. 250 years ago, man. Where's that model come from? Where's the fake excitement and rage of the scenario from 200 years ago that you don't remember, Jew or Israelite? Like, why are we standing on that? What I'm talking about as the current platform. Why is that the current platform? You want to skip Malcolm X being killed? I'd have rolled on them niggas just for that still. Like, to this day, they didn't know. We know there's some bullshit going on back then, right? We learned that afterwards. They didn't learn that in real time. We did. You feel me? Like, oh, you did Malcolm dirty, niggas. Oh, you think that's cool, huh? That's the only nigga that sound like he went to school for real, and you want to do him dirty like that. Alrighty then. And his grandson, oh my God, they grimy. That's now, like, for the Black Panther Party. Like, shut up. Like, shut the fuck up. Malcolm X's grandson is about to get $1 billion from Gaddafi, but let's take it back to Cotton Gin, where my family earned $40 a year. Let's add up how much that would be equivalent per Negro ass niggas. Y'all beefing and boxing for commissary in prison. Shut up. Meanwhile, I just said fucking Malcolm X's grandson knew Gaddafi directly and Hillary Clinton killed him. But you voted Democrat again. For the bitch, because she had hot sauce in her bag. Bitch, she put hot sauce on some bullshit, killed everybody, stopped the United Bank of Africa, and you African Americans without a $1 billion credit line on the strength of Malcolm X. The fuck we talking about? The fuck? Right? Are y'all familiar with these variables? Have y'all ever heard any of those things before? Like, it'd be important right now in real time in human history. If Negroes had $1 billion of credit with Gaddafi on the strength of Malcolm X's contributions to whatever Gaddafi's dad or grandfather was, or mother, and then his grandson, troubled, of course, they killed his grandfather, and FBI plotting on him, obviously. And but Gaddafi was like, fuck him, $1 billion. We got the gold for it. Haven't heard nothing about that since, have you? But antebellum slavery, though, in French Louisiana. They talk about reparations on land they don't even live on no more, too, which is the sickest shit about it. But they want someone to figure out the approximated total costs and dividends of benefits based on current consensuses with everybody from the Caribbean and Africa. If y'all don't get the fuck out my face. You already seen how the white girls manage the Somalian funds. Please, get the fuck out my face. Y'all don't take math serious enough to fucking talk about none of that bullshit as the whole pivot of sociology and liberalism and democratism for the past 40 years of my life. It has not went forward one iota. Now it's about 15 minutes behind itself currently. And here we go. Here we go. They genderqueered language. You know what genderqueering is, right? And then they genderqueered the rebellious, social, liberal energy of the college age kids who went to school with Jewish people for 12 years. Like, and then when that spell breaks, because bills are real and bitches is fucking your best friend, then it's then you start over again. I get it now. Listen. When I was a child, I saw childlike things. Shit ghetto for real. Motherfuckers only Democrats and liberal like that while they're kids. We got these grown ass adults, these big ass adults still talking about they Democrats, and they all women with no husbands. Like some kids, like some teen moms. I wonder if they know what the word conservatory means. Anyway, I think us, the crew less than 20 or 2. Shout out to you. DeyZan, feathers on dick. Shoot. My mom had a poster of Gaddafi in her room back in the day. She was ahead of the game by light years. Yo, I need a poster of Gaddafi's armored guard. How about them? I seen them girls' hair. I was like, yeah. And he know Malcolm X and them, and his peoples, and his grandson? Yeah. It was like 40 years later. Don't sleep. Malcolm X's grandson my age. Gaddafi reached out to him 30, 40 years after Malcolm X was dead. Like, you know, honor your mothers and fathers like on the highest degree. I do it for mama, do it for mama, do it for mama. Cause Gucci got cloned. Yep. Hold on. I actually have that. Ha. Thank God, man. I don't know where I put it. Do I have it? Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom. I can't tell we came from Tartaria for real. We wanted to draw, backflip, fight, make music, and bad bitches. You couldn't tell. You couldn't tell who that is in human history? The people with the most kids? Like Genghis Khan had the most kids? You can't tell like that would be the same gender and degree? Probably not, right? It'd be somebody else that has more kids than us. But we want to be 50% of the population alleged according to them, but we have the most kids per capita per the population that is. And our Ancestry.com prove it. What is that about? It's weird, bro. That's all I'm saying. These motherfuckers are on some other shit. What do you mean I don't have Do It For Mama? Fuck out of here. Do 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 do. I really don't got it. That's evil. That's evil. Well, everybody else's songs, I guess. Evil. Do it for mama. Do it for mama. Cause Gucci got cloned. You know what I want to try? I haven't tried Googling it before. Let me see if Google remembers it. I search mgthefuture and Busyworks Beats comes up. That's a bad song. I do have the song. It's just on the hard drive. But I thought I could play it today. Fuck. Same song. I haven't been to my SoundCloud in years. This is crazy. It feels like the timeline I just described, because it is. My SoundCloud is the timeline that I described. Right before the world went to hell. my SoundCloud's frozen in that time. Most recent upload was a year ago. And now it's 550 reposts. He died. Yep. Okay. Alright. Fuck him. I guess, guys. Shout out to PT Cruising. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you. Shout out to Harut, Jonathan. Come out on the other side. Make it out alive. If a man give you dirt, put that man in the dirt. If a man give you words, put that man in a hearse. You wanna make him go nuts, hit that man where it hurts. Where it hurts. Can't be out here taking chances with no boxer, but a law, but a rougher, but a cop. Can't be out here taking chances with no boxer, but a law, but a rougher, but a cop. I must play my position, but the opposition. If you got competition, I got Scottie Pippins, I got Blake Griffins. If you wanna rise up with her, I know Greg Diggers. If you wanna ride with her, I don't want to die. Rock my heart, I hope to fly. Gotta come out on the other side. Hope I make it out alive. Gotta survive, gotta spread. If you think you wanna try, close my eyes, don't wanna die. Rock my heart, I hope to fly. Gotta come out on the other side. Hope I make it out alive. Gotta survive, gotta spread. If you think you wanna try. You gotta put the family first. I be shooting to the biscuit lip just like Fred Durst. Lip biscuit. If I hit him on the face, he put his face on his shirt. Cause I can't be out here taking chances with no boxer, but a long, but a rougher, but a cop. Taking chances with no can't be out here taking chances with no boxer, but a long, but a rougher. They think we get the Japanese influence from Dragon Ball Z or something. No, I'm Afro-Asiatic, man. They got the equation. They're reading Hebrew backwards. Gotta survive, gotta spread if you think you want to try. Can't be out here taking chances with no boxer, but a law, but We're not Afro-Asiatic because we're black. Because we're not black. we're copper-colored. We're red. We're red. We're Roman. We're ready. But we're Asiatics with afros, which would imply that we're black people. Duh. But no, we're Afro-Asiatics. Asians with whatever blood that is that gives us our hair, and the skin is sold with it. That's why it's not Afro. That's why it's not Afri-Asiatic. If it was Afri-Asiatic, it'd be like Khoisan. It's like Khoisan. So like cousin. Khoisan would be our Afro-Asiatic cousins because they're Afri-based. But that Asiatic part, how y'all doing? Same story. Same story, Abraham. Same story. Yep, based on true story. I noticed something. I was like, damn, my ear for Japanese stuff is out of this world. Now, mind you, that Japanese thing is confusing as fuck to me because I don't think I get it from Japanese people, but I think I get it from Japheth. That's kind of like Shem's brother or something. You know the story. Cousins. So, if you go back far enough, maybe culture-wise, all of that which we assign to one or the other starts with the same brothers. And 3 kings and 3 khans and shit like that. You're like, if there's 3 khans and 3 kings of our bloodline and we're Noah's grandkids, and they're talking about Shem, Ham, and Japheth. You know, those are the 3 kings, and those are the 3 khans, and those are the 3 braids of our current race. So it's kind of like, but why my ears tuned to Japanese? Weird story, bro. It's a weird story. I can't land that one yet. I've never been in Japan or China. And I ain't talking about the people. You already know how people are. You been to America? But I ain't talking about people. I'm talking about why do they call that Japanese? Why are they using Japheth as a reference point if they've never met Israelites? Period. To know one of their father names is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can name your shit whatever you want. You can even borrow language and name some new shit because you took it and niggas is dead. But I'm just saying, why would you make a reference to, why the reference is always one of our dads? All 3 of them are mine by now. That's the point, by the way. We're all like Noah clones plus EX plus Ultra. But, you know, the further you go back, the more clones you realize you are. But, yeah, man, Japan makes me feel weird. Japan has a weird thing to it. It's deep inside of me, too. I know Moors were there. Easy story, but I'm just saying, like, Moors were there. Japan, Nabian, art. Back and forth trading, right? So you see how music and Moors have instruments. I get it. But why do I get it so strong? And why do so many kids born after me resonate with it stronger than my generation of black kids? Who, if you were watching Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon, they're like, you're a nerd or something. I ain't forget. Now these niggas open up fucking Pokemon cards on TikTok. Weird ass niggas. I didn't care what they thought. I could fight. But the principle. I was watching Aeon Flux already. I saw Akira already. I downloaded Vampire Hunter D on my own before niggas knew what dubs or subs or whatever it was. I was like, damn, Dante, slice these niggas the fuck up, well, don't you? I remember being able to find the rest of the Death Note that didn't hit Cartoon Network yet on fucking YouTube. Death Note, this part 5, 7, like, the shit was wild, bro. It was like looking for WinRAR archives. That's before, you know, YouTube started to algorithmize its fucking search results. You just find it with copy and paste. Like the title matched what you typed and it matched and it knows it's there. You tell YouTube's search thing was made by hackers originally. So anyway, Yeah. We're connected to Japanese culturally. I want to know that story. They were in America too for the internment camps too. So that shared culture happened on both sides of the Pacific, all the way up until World War II, actually. Because if they're on American Indian lands on the west side, Moorish people, Indian associates, then the Moorish people, Indian associates are speaking the language to make Japanese people feel comfortable enough to be there. It's like, oh, Hebrews, I get it. I get it. But I don't. I wonder how many of those Japanese people were in America as Japanese people mixed with Indians, and how many of those went to the north. I know the braid, a modern Japanese braid, not the Genghis Khan one. Same story, but a little bit more recent. It feels more recent than that. That'll also explain why some of your family will have a dead end in your family tree, but they're fucking Japanese. That'd be the 1800s. After the Civil War, Japanese occupation of Indian territories. You know what I'm talking about? The Japanese had that thing going on with China, but then there's Japanese people on the west side too. At the same time period is what I'm saying. So if they on that type of time with Chinese, but the same people, I guess, or families are here, and then seemingly they're not on that time with us, but they scared the white people enough to put them in internment camps. So this is not the first time country has dealt with ICE, by the way. And you talk about the Fourth Reich? Well, let's go to the other Reich. Like, what did they do to the Japanese in America, nigga? That sound like ICE. It's worth noting, you never see Japanese who are victimized by that, or their children or grandchildren who survived that, really talk about it. Like, I can't identify those Japanese people for an internment camp of them to be gathered through the West. Like, so who are their kids? Who is their daddy and what does he do? Like, are we sure they're the Japanese people in Japan? Because this is, 80 years ago. Are we sure? We didn't see Japan on TV until about 30 years ago. So are we sure? Are we sure they were talking about Japanese people in the Japan internment camps in the Americas, last samurais? Are we sure? Or were they black Indians? Aphrodisiacs. From Japan. I'll throw a monkey wrench in some Cherokee bloodlines, I'll tell you that much, but same story. Probably why we learn how to do round-offs and backflips, for real. You ever grow up in the hood? Why do we know how to do round-off backflips? Like, really think about it. Per capita though, bro. Like, yo, children, I've been alive 40 years in a row, right? I've never been in a suburb, rural area, nowhere, where there's kids playing outside, where the white boys just line up the mattresses and start doing round-off backflips. To this day, I was hoping, like, I don't know if that's a recipe or something, but what I'm trying to say is, why did that recipe make it to us if no one else has that recipe on them? So I was like, all right. Now, I know there's gymnastics and shit like that. I didn't take gym class. We was outside on pissy mattresses and box springs thrown discarded improperly. We couldn't afford a trampoline. But that's what I'm saying. White people could. Those same white people trampolines never took that off the trampoline and tried to do a fucking round off near their hood. And I was pissing me off. I couldn't do the round off, bro. I couldn't go from the cartwheels to the backflip. I was too big, or my center of gravity was fucked up. So I just learned how to do backflips off of objects, which is what the little niggas round offs didn't want to do. Weird, but you feel me? I got in where I fit in. I got into somersaults. But I always practiced the round off and did like a couple of them, but not the beautiful ones that no one taught us how to do. My boy Drumgo, Indian by the way, Indian from Henderson, North Carolina. When I met him, he's my height, and he is Sagittarius. I was like, show me how to do this round off thing. Us tall niggas. Jonathan will run, do a cartwheel, and he just gets so high in the fucking sky, upside down, and just drag it out and just float. They call it a walkover or a layout. Like a martial law does on Tekken 2. Like, who taught him how to do that? I was there when we learned it. We literally made it up as we were learning it. Like, all right, man, can you do a pencil? What's a pencil? A cartwheel, no hands. But like, you know, like someone flipping off of a diving board off of a pirate ship, or someone flipping off of anything, or, you know, someone who knows how to deal with water. Black people don't swim or something, but they know how to do dives that are learned from diving boards. And we're kids. From Section 8 in the hood and the hood nigga section. There's no pools. They put us in neighborhoods that used to have pools though, but they're all overrun and dirty and black, and it's like, niggas don't want to swim? Anyway, literally had a pool at my corner that was overrun. And but we still figured it out. Semis, somersaults, pencils, aerials, layouts. Some people body center of gravity twist naturally, so you see a lot of those twisting types. That happens naturally if you ever practice on a diving board or a trampoline, your body will twist naturally. So you have to, if you want to stick a landing, you have to control those muscles on the way up. But, you know what I'm saying? No one taught us that. I didn't go to gymnast class. None of my, Tori didn't go to gymnast class. Drum go, Terry didn't go. No. Who else was like? Mainbow definitely didn't go. I think his dad from New York, from Jamaica. Jamaica, y'all be doing gymnasts on the fucking desert or something? I don't know what's going on the beach. But I'm just saying, every nigga I grew up with, for real, kinetically learned how to do tumbles. Like a genetic memory triggered at the same age group too. Like, I don't want you to miss that shit. It's like going to school. It's like, it's a certain degree. Like, by 3rd grade, you can do this. By 6th grade, you should be doing this. And if you're late behind, you got to catch it by 9th grade. Because once puberty hits in and all that shit, you ain't doing that no more. So from like 6 to 13 years old, you have to master those degrees of roundhouse. Once puberty, your growth spurt hit, you ain't gonna have that same gravity or that effect no more. Trust me, I know, I tried it. So, yeah. That could not come from that whole degree right there, that whole school right there that we put ourselves through. And I saw that school in New Jersey, and I came to North Carolina, and we were in that school again. But you know what the difference was? The people in North Carolina who had that degree were from the north. Their dads and stuff, they're from up north. You see Jonathan Drumgo, you see how Asiatic his eyes is. He's just as tall as me, just skinnier. Fucking Terry and all of them, Asiatic eyes, but very lighter skin, probably Puerto Rican mix. Mainbow, a Jamaican with squinty eyes, but a dark skin version, a short dark skin version. Long hair. Yep, they're all Asiatic in the face. And they all took me to tumbling school for no reason. We'd have other kids, black kids around us, who wouldn't even try it. Who were like scared, like, I might break my neck or my shoulder, like, as I'm fucking up, and I'm fine. Like, but these niggas won't play football. Like, come on, dog. It's your body, it's your weight. You gonna be all right? Nope. As a kid, especially. Nope. They didn't want to try it. They didn't even seem exciting. Never heard about it in their family. Nothing. Outside of Olympic stuff. Nobody I know was in the Olympics, bro. I know motherfuckers who could flip, bro. I know some Indians that really know how to flip, bro. To God be the glory, man, to have witnessed that in person. We didn't think nothing of it. We're Indians. That's what I'm saying. Why do all the Indian kids know how to flip like that? It's never in the Wonder Years. It's never in any of the movies, actually. Blaxploitation, nothing. That doesn't stand out. Only if they do a karate movie or, Hollywood stuff. But no. They don't show you that. They show you kids jumping on beds and flipping on beds like it's fun. We have a master's degree in tumbling, bro. Like, I could take you to tumbling school in my brain. Like, you're gonna go to school, you're gonna go around the track, and you're gonna look for inverted grass. You're gonna look for a slow incline hill. You're not gonna learn how to do a backflip on flat land. We're gonna take you to the hills. And then the hill is gonna allow you more arch time to get comfortable with turning all the way upside down before your hands have to touch anything. That's where all the fear is. If you can get vertical, then your legs, your knees, whatever, it'll pull you over. Wait. We gotta make sure you get upside down first by yourself. So we practice on the hills. Practice on the hills. And then, you get good at it. It gets fun. You go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 of those. We only had 1 of those kids per neighborhood that just keep going momentum-wise. I'll stop at 1, nigga. Y'all got it, little niggas. You go from there, then you go to the playground, the sand. They have the elevated things you jump off of and climb up. Like, all right, come on, gentlemen. All 5 of you, line up. Now go flip. Some would do front flips. Only 1 would land them actually full rotation on their feet. Others will fall on their back. That was me. Head of my class, the rest of us. And then others will twist. When I first saw a nigga do like an aerial, I was like, get the fuck out my face. You can do a cartwheel with no hands, my nigga? I still can't do that. I don't even think I could do that. I can't do that motion. I can't get my body to do that without my hands. That shit felt awkward in the water or on a fucking trampoline. But this nigga just, as a matter of fact, did it. I seen little niggas just do that off of 3 stairs. Like, just as a matter of fact, like how white boy try to do a kickflip. I know niggas who just aerial right off the stairs. For no reason. Mastery. All elevations, all urban environments. It's like parkour, but niggas who know how to flip. Yep. The only thing similar to that is them crazy white boys, adrenaline addicts who want to do parkour. I guess we're doing park first. Park. Very Korean of us, man. That's all I'm saying. We have some very Asian tendencies, even in a hood nigga section, socioeconomic classified. Like, we're classified there. That's not where we started. That's where we were put. So they put us in those classifications, socioeconomically, and we still brought out the circus. We still brought out the circus, bro. Playgrounds and gyms was for us. We created that. Morris created that. So when you go to those old playgrounds that they blessed them with, Gen X had fun, but we fucking start tearing shit down and changing it, pussies. But yeah, it's just weird. It's our culture for us, man. They didn't. You know how unfair that is, bro? We don't know why we do that. We don't know where that come from. That's what I'm saying. Like, all them babies born in the 80s can tumble, bro. And you gotta keep in mind, that's why Tommy was that nigga in the Power Rangers for real. Like, cause you gotta realize we're watching the Power Rangers doing shit that we doing for real. Like, we're watching the Power Rangers going, oh shit, we can do one of those too, nigga. You know what I'm talking about? Like, mirror neurons. We're already doing flips. So we're watching Power Rangers, if you could flip, trying to do Power Ranger shit. Like, for real, like the flips. And we're doing Power Ranger shit. Pools, trampolines, or niggas like Jonathan and them. Yeah. So we saw Power Rangers like us. And then you see the cast of characters. They had a Black Ranger. Mandela effect, missing a finger. No, he wasn't. And then he had gloves on him. They didn't make special gloves for Black Ranger. We would have noticed that shit. And we had his toys. Stop fucking playing with me. Anyway. Tommy, something about him. Maybe his height too. His build. And like, you see the Green Ranger snapping. And then you get older. Because you're outside flipping. You know other people are excited about Power Rangers because they say how much they're selling of them. But them white kids with Power Rangers ain't outside doing backflips though. Them white kids are not outside with their Power Rangers trying to do aerials off of a brick, sidewall of a garden. No, they're not. We was at the park every time. They didn't even come near us doing it. Once in a blue moon. once in a blue moon. But generally, nah, they don't fuck with that. And this is during Power Rangers. This is during those cartoons, like every year. So we took it serious. We took it personally. And no one else did. And then you find out those casting characters doing those flips are Japanese. Like all the Power Rangers action scenes are Japanese. Thus, their flips, their rotations, their round-offs is from Japan. And it's like, there we go again. Like, there's something weird going on, bro. We're tumbling like Power Rangers for no reason. And then the Power Rangers tumbling, same season, to our chagrin. They filmed it while we were tumbling, right? Like while I'm in the hood, my age group, my millennials from the 80s, as we're learning how to tumble like Power Rangers, the Japanese people in the Power Ranger show are filming the Power Rangers. By the time we grow up to see the Power Rangers, they just edit it out into white kids and stuff, more, California, Florida-like, and use the old footage of when the Japanese did Power Rangers, which was when I was a kid, and we thought we were Power Rangers. Before Power Rangers came to America, just to make sure I'm like a Tribe Called Quest. In the same time period, the Japanese was like, we should make a ninja fighting backflip somersault show. Not their first, by the way. But we want to make this one go crazy. And for some reason, America want this shit like Dragon Ball Z. Let's go. And then Americans say, we're lazy. But we know how to edit our shows. Whitewashing. And then, so they whitewashed the Power Rangers and kept the Japanese choreography. And it was like, that was wonderful. Like, wow. Do we love the TV shows or do we love Japanese culture? Do we love that peacefulness of Japanese culture? That ability to fight evil and demons, demonology, in order to, Genghis Khan, demonology, to be able to fight demons and monsters, mentally, physically, and with supernatural powers. They always have supernatural powers, by the way, and they have technology. They're UFO shapeshifted into animals too. But darn Japanese. Don't Japanese have dragons? I know there's something going on there, bro. Someone need to tell us about it. Deadass, I want to understand something. Why are niggas in America whose grandmothers are Indian have a quantum entanglement to Japan? I want to fucking know, Bruce. And why were those the niggas they decided to test a nuclear bomb on? Or whatever it really was. Either bomb was fucked up. But you understand, the story they sell, tough. Why the fuck would they sell that story and do what they did in Japan and then tell us, like, ooh, biggest bomb ever, nigga, don't you dare, we took out Japan. Like, wait, we want to know what the fuck that is. We just came from Africa, sis. What a nigga gonna do with some information about some land he never been to, never heard of since he been in slavery? Oh, we attacked Japan. Nigga, where am I? Last I checked, my grandmother was from Africa. What do you mean we attacked Japan, nigga? we gonna take us back to Liberia soon? How do I get to Charleston? I need money for a train, nigga. You bombed Japan? Wow. Wow. Fuck my parents' neighborhood. Fuck the Trail of Tears. Fuck the damn Great Fires. Japan was attacked. Ooh. Are they white? That's gotta be 80 years ago, bro. So imagine our chagrin. We're quantumly entangled to Japanese culture yet and still. Being the first time in nigga history that niggas could ever even heard of a Japan or the people thereof in order to get it on video into our living rooms. Like, that would have been the first time ever in human fucking history that niggas like you and me would see something Japanese. Hypothetically, all degrees that we have reference points and all these dead ends. The first time we're introduced to anything in Japan or Japanese is the 80s. But World War II a few years prior, terrorist Axis powers ass niggas. Like, ooh, the bad guys. And then the bad guys somehow, and then the bad guys like kicking ass and shit, and like, that's our culture. What? What are we talking about? That don't even fucking make sense, bro. Because, bro, like, that shit caught fire is what I'm saying. And to this day, the cartoons is like catching fire, but nothing from Africa ever did that. Nothing from the Caribbean ever did that. We had Soledad and Universidad Spanish channel. Not even any of those tropes or one of those shows ever catch fire in our hood ever. You understand what I'm saying? Like, niggas will watch anime in Japanese, but the girls wasn't watching the telenovela in Spanish. You understand what I'm saying? It didn't hit off like that. It didn't shock and spark us that way. The Japanese shit, 80s and 90s, oh my God, like, where did that come from? For the first time in human history, some people you've never met ever, we haven't even been there yet, bro. You from Africa. Japan way on the other side, nigga, like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, the Japanese, all this shit, all these backflips and these degrees and all this wisdom and hero's journey and all kind of beautiful colors and shapes, and niggas could fight back and chop off the heads of snakes, like, oh shit, Khan, like. Then Street Fighter came out, and they whitewashed the shit out of that, but niggas was right there, weren't they? Niggas was right there, weren't they? Who they picked? They picked the Japanese boy in them day. I know they did. Think about it. You could tell the difference in niggas depending on if they pick Ryu or Ken, actually. That's gonna tell you everything, just like that dress will. You play Street Fighter long enough from our generation, I could tell all about the nigga depending on if he picks Ryu or Ken. And those are the options on there. Like, you have to pick Ryu or Ken. I could tell all about a nigga depending on which one he picks. Like that. I know, it's crazy. They did it against us. And I'm in the hood nigga section in New Jersey. Super Street Fighter came out for Sega. Same characters. But they introduced some new niggas. Now check this out, Japanese people. Because y'all ain't slick, bro. Like, we gotta take the Japanese people to homie court, because they playing in our face in a different type of way, bro. Because, like, remember the times with me, Shogun. Like, remember the times? Super Street Fighter, the first one, for Sega, them came out. Arcade, Sega, and probably Super Nintendo for it. They had more buttons. But I had a cooler controller. So anyway, fucking Super Street Fighter comes out. And who they drop on this? T-Hawk. A giant, a big nigga. Native American. Cammy, who's the female gal from Interpol. Bad bitch, tattoos, long braids like your grandma. But look at the back of her stage. Ain't it very Andalusian? And listen to the music too. Look at the music they give to Cannon Drill, bro. Like, really think about it. Japanese people are funny. They inverted something. You know what I'm talking Cannon Drill. Just hold that though, Illusion, and then you get to DJ. Like, oh shit, they put a black guy again in there. The other black guy only had hands. Mike Tyson Bison, but now this black guy got feet. So he's like Eddie Gordo before Eddie Gordo even hit Tekken. So DJ, it's a kickboxer. All right, cool story. He had a cool little Islander background. I barely remember the song. That's a shame, but he's there. Cool story. Weird button layout moves. I don't like those types, but you know, it'll fuck you up if you're using Balrog or Zangief or something. Man, get him the fuck out my face. Anyway, so that was the loadout. It was the Indian. It was the European girl. What the fuck that is. It was DJ the Jamaican, and then Fei Long. Bruce Lee clone. Who you think niggas learn how to use? My grandmother Indian. Let me see what this nigga T-Hawk about. Zangief for the Zangief part-ish. Yeah, I get it. This, you know, on my grandma and the feathers and shit. I get it. El Paso. And then Cammy for real, because she was faster than Guile, so fuck him. And then Fei Long though. It was always Bruce Lee for real. Like, the hood went crazy with Bruce Lee. a crazy story for real. He's got the dragon kick, the fire, and all that. Woo hoo hoo. You remember? And those were his emotes, and that's what niggas were saying in the hood, man. They was repeating after them niggas for like mantras. Like, think about that, like Japanese people communicating sound as well. Mantras. You ain't even paying attention though. I know we're not. But, you know, think about our little ass, flat ass brains, because something happened to us over here. And Japanese is like putting Shoryuken. We share a similar language. So every time you're in the hood and you think about, oh, Shoryuken. For no reason, you just be chilling with the right cast of characters and like, Hadouken, Shoryuken. The only fucking thing you understand is that vowel sound and ken. Hadouken, Shoryuken, Hadouken, Shoryuken, Hadouken, Shoryuken. Like, why would they do some silly shit like that to us? Why would they be smoke signaling us so masterfully subversive, but loud enough for pattern recognition to take count of it? What I'm saying is fully intentional. They know their demographics now. They made the NPC for us. Like, let's really think about life for real. What the fuck the Japanese people got to do with some goddamn niggas from Africa in slavery in America? I swear to God. They didn't channel Africans like that, bro. You understand? It ain't nothing about being black. Is what I'm trying to get to. It's like, it ain't got nothing to do with our skin colors. They ain't channeling Africa like that. They didn't target Africa like that. Them motherfuckers targeted us like a bitch, bro. Japanese people targeted the fuck out of us. I have no idea what that's called. I don't even know what that type of... is that psychological warfare? When a nigga trying to wake you up? Is that what that is? Is that psychological warfare? Is it for us, by us? Is it against us? Is it against white people exclusively? Like, what are they doing? Russia, same thing, right? Like, I don't know if they're on the same team for real, but I'm just saying, Russia was like, hey niggas, if you see me, holla at your boy. That's your grandmother. What? That's, bro, what are we talking about over here? Why these motherfuckers sending us signals, bro? Niggas got their own fucking problems, their own fucking businesses going on. Why everyone got time to, like, send a Morse code to a nigga, bro? That's all I'm saying. Is that a valid question? 3 in the chat, that's a valid question. Why would Vladimir Putin signal to us? And why has Japan been consistently signaling to us for the past 40 years? And no one told us what's up yet. Like, you understand something? Like, come on, bro. We've never met you in human history. We've never been to Japan. Japan's never been where I live. Like, you understand? Like, so why they sending us so many signals? You feel me? Like, that's weird. Like, our demographic ain't supposed to exist ever in human history. No longer on their side, but on their side, they are aware of us. Some even made it here, and then all their content from over there, their content from over there makes it to us. And it's like, oh, shit's gonna blow up. And they targeted the Northeast too. That's crazy. New Jerusalem. But they targeted New York and it disseminated California naturally because there's still Asians there. But I'm talking about where the niggas live. Northeast. It's like, nuclear launch detected. Akira. What? What the fuck? What the fuck motherfuckers talking about, bro? Why would HBO find it a proper idea that some Japanese weird shit animated for adults, or is it kids? Because context. And then like, yeah, we'll translate it to the Americans. What? Hire voice actors and everything to Americanize the dub and put it in the hoods real quick. You know niggas at HBO, even if they weren't paying for it, you can just get the wire from outside before they change that. But same story. Japan been targeting us. Look at Shogun 3. Jonathan 3. They gotta remember something. They got to, bro. Ain't no way in Hades. Ain't no way in Hades by the 1980s they still on some bullshit with it. Nah, it's impossible, bro. For that arm of their culture, arts, music, entertainment, to be fine-tuned and geared sigil for sigil concept for concept, hero for hero, journey for journey, right? Like, and like never really said hi to niggas. We don't even know their language, bro. But they know our symbolism. And through them, we relearn some of our symbolism. That's tough. They were sharing it back with us. Think about that shit. They held on to it and, you know, evolved. Like, you know what I'm saying? They added more variables to it. And then the first thing they could do is make sure that it got to us. And we're never a strong buying demographic. Not no goddamn 80s and 90s. But still, they fine-tuned it to make sure that it was in the hood nigga sections on cable TV. Capcom knew something, bro. Capcom sure did. Capcom probably knew first, bro. Yeah, Calm Cap. It's not Capcom, it's Calm Cap. Compact. Cons pack. Okay. He's trying to say something, nigga. They are. They call it street fighters. And we're street fighting. That was my whole fucking problem. That video game ain't why we was fighting. We was fighting before that video game came out. Then we were doing round-offs. We were in Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat already. That's why we love that shit. They forgot Mike Tyson was knocking out niggas in the 80s. And every other nigga before him. So, you know what I'm saying? Mirror neurons. It was real. That was a real thing. In the North. Lord have mercy. Everyone was kung fu for up. New York crazy. But that's Chinese though. Kung fu and all that shit. Bruce Lee, all that shit. That's on the Chinese side of China. That seems more ancient. So the philosophy and Wu-Tang and stuff, the philosophy of the Chinese transmuted to Gen X. But then the art, form, and culture and values of the Japanese flow to us next. So it's like first China hit us with the hula, and then Japan hit us with the ippon, and now we on some other shit. Niggas rather be furries or blue hairs, but they miss the whole message of the hero's journey. But that's cool story. That's why niggas love Boondocks. Look how seamless that expression is. From the animes up to that time, and then Boondocks, borrowing that, but I think they used Koreans to capture that style, which they emphasize fighting scenes. Like, Riley and them would fight. They'd be telling jokes and doing political, ironic, Aaron McGruder style commentary about shit. And the comedy style of BET writers that he had with him, comic view writers, to do the setups and stuff. But no. What was fly about it as a cartoonist, and a person watching cartoons, that McGruder was like, I watch anime too. I want to get the best affordable Korean version of it to do it. And did. But it was the fighting scenes that is what he needed. Boondocks exist because that nigga like fighting. Chop, chop, judo kick. Like, it'd be right there, right? Like, think about like how pervasive. And then you look at Aaron McGruder's face one more time. Just check him out. Check out Aaron McGruder real quick. Check him out real quick. Talk to me nice. Talk to me real nice. Like Aaron McGruder. Like, look at his face though. Real quick, he got afro too. He looked like an Afro-Asiatic. That's crazy. That's crazy. Afro-Asiatic made a fucking anime about Afro-Asiatic babies. That's crazy. Niggas be fighting, and the theme song is chop chop, judo kick. Like what? Judo flip, judo kick, judo sit. Nigga, judo this Jew. Judah this Jew. Judah this Jew, Magruder. Go ahead, Judah this Jew, Aaron. Go ahead and Judah this Jew, Aaron. I'm glad that was a Judah that drew Judah, nigga. That's a Jew that drew Judah that did judo flips, nigga. Come on now, they're doing backflips, they were fighting. They was on some judo shit on the tribe of Judah. Same story, bitch. And then that's when it started making sense. Aaron Magruder from Nuremberg, Chocolate City. What? DC, you know, it's not part of the 50. Hey. Oh, he from there. I'm familiar with that territory for some fucking reason. I'm familiar with Jews and Afro-Asiatics in that territory, right fucking there, where the mind behind that TV show comes from. It's very fucking familiar to me. And then, you know, you hear him talk. Watch Aaron Magruder talk on C-SPAN or some dumb shit like that. Just watch him talk. Like, yo, that's very... Where his grandma stay? I'm familiar with this breed of niggas. This is nah, he ain't like the other girls. They let him sneak by though. They let him walk right by him too, boy. They have no fucking clue who that kid is. That's a crazy story. That's a crazy fucking story. That he got in the game, and he got out the game. He said they tried to play him and do extra seasons without him. Then he did Black Jesus. Y'all ain't following me, are you, man? Yo, Aaron Magruder right there, bro. He's just filtered through Gen X's Malcolm X Black Panther energy. That's his language model. But that's not what he's expressing. Yo, his social commentary, that's how he's expressing. Chop judo flip. He got Spunkmeyer and Gray Dad getting his ass beat. The boys always fighting. Yeah, the niggas with the guns and shit. The white boys with the black voicing of Samuel L. Jackson and them niggas. Charlie Murphy, bitch. Charlie Murphy got smack a bitch. You know what I'm talking about. Like, that's Dave Chappelle's same story too. But, like, Charlie Murphy's the bridge between the two. Like, the world is full of black Jews, Eddie Murphy. The world is full of black Jews, Murphy's Law. Can you imagine, niggas? Can you fucking imagine, like, what grandma say? Oh, one day the veil will be lifted, ass niggas. You know how underwhelming that veil is? If your grandmother's just a little Jew Indian. Got him. Come on now. That's Morse code like a motherfucker, boy. Why they grandmother talking about the veil? Oh. Wait, your grandmother said what? Perchance. Just perchance. Perchance is that grandmother. You know how these psychic girls are. These little psychic black girls are. I don't want to talk to you. Let me talk to your mother. Your daughter got issues. But you have a mother that's sensitive and sees things and dreams and warns people, and niggas not listening and get in trouble or die right after. Wow, that's perchance. Tell me something. Where your grandma stay? Oh, it's the South. It's always the South with that generation with those symptoms. Oh, okay. All right, proximity to the Carolinas. Give or take, you know, niggas move around. Okay, all right. And she's perchance. I don't know what none of your baby daddies look like. There's always no men in this house, but perchance, was she Indian? Oh, got him. Bro, over and over, all the days of my life. It's the same story. Yeah, they created some type of yeah, that's correct. Final answer. I'm gonna solve it. I got it all. I got what it is now. I know what to call it now. I got it. Shout out to them though. Shout out to all the, what they call them, light workers out there in other tribes that apparently exist, that apparently are familiar with something enough, and apparently aware of us, becoming aware of us. It is the, dare I call it, on King James, dare I name it the, bear with me, this is gonna sound ridiculous, but I think it'll encapsulate so many angles and elements of what the fuck's going on in our lifetime. This is the Great Jew Awakening. Yep. That's what happened. Yep. They tagged the millennials for the Great Jew Awakening. Yep, hit us with all the radiation about it. Yep, sure did. Oh, you open? They charged up that spirit bomb like a motherfucker, then they go through. Sure did. They're targeting Judah's kids. That hero's journey is Judas. They're targeting Judah, the tribe of Judah, bro. They were, bro. They're targeting Jerusalem. You understand something? That's everything, even the cartoons. Like, I really want y'all to think about this, bro. See, only a Jew can tell you these stories. But Batman, like how the officialdom of society signaled him, right? They sent up an Indian smoke signal, but, modern. Now they have lights they put against clouds, so they put up a bat signal. Triangulation type shit. So Batman, it's like a pager, right? You didn't need a cell phone bill or nothing. You just perchance, he checks out his window like, oh shit, Gordon. Oh, that's on me, baby. I'll be there in a second. I know where the rendezvous point is. Smoke signals. So, or smoke flares, military. Same story, same fucking story. But they were targeting then Bruce Wayne. That animation studio, I think, the one that we grew up on, there's plenty of Batmans. But no. We, millennials, grew up on the Fox or UPN Batman after school. Gargoyles, Batman, and some other shit. But that Batman, the greatest Batman ever. Shut the fuck up, talk to us. Don't talk to us. Them niggas targeted us too. And Gargoyles too, by the way. Same story. Bruce Wayne and the Gargoyle. Now when I gargoyle at nighttime, he's Batman. At nighttime, he's Goliath. David and Goliath. But I don't want you to miss anything about Jew targeting now. You understand? Everyone got the whole world. They got the whole world. They got the whole world of stuff. Indians got some cool stuff. Hindu Kush, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, niggas, Xerxes, Persians have some cool stuff, boy. They got some cool fucking stuff. They got some deep shit in the crates over there. But over here, everything that go platinum in the hood is a Jew story. For real, right? Shogun, JPX, Harut. That's Jonathan. That's a true story, right? Like, everything that went platinum in the hood is a Jew story. For real, bro. Like, that shit make you feel away. That shit make you feel away. That shit make you feel away, bro. Because that shit was heavy-handed, fam. It's like, so for me to figure out now, it's not like, duh. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I can't even take credit for my own genius, if you will. Like, all my pattern recognition was mine, but the signs were, presented after school, after you were programmed by the fuzz. Right after school, the Japanese people were like, hold on, we got them. We're going to hit them in that prime time energy when they brain calm down and let them subconsciously take in all the sigil work we got, because we've been drawing forever, nigga. They're like Solomon's niggas. Like, they've been drawing Kanji and Hideo Kojima. They've been doing sigil and video magic, Metal Gear Solid, nigga. Another story about David. Hideo Kojima, the video magician, nigga. Did you hear what I said to you, nigga? Here goes this damn Konami, nigga. Hideo made sure you got that, nigga. Konami made Contra, nigga. Don't let me contradict you, nigga. Do you understand anything about Contra, Nintendo, Konami, nigga? Dragon ass niggas. Let me make sure Hideo Kojima, the video of Magi ass nigga. He a highest Mason you can be in Japan. I see that nigga. And he's like, yo, we want to do Metal Gear Solid for 3D. PlayStation 1. Oh, it's up in the hood? Oh, it's up and it's good. Let me ask Capcom. How many Super Street Fighter PX plus alphas you sell? Alrighty. Oh, you can. We ready to do Metal? Yeah, we're going to do Metal. No, we're not going to do Metal Gear Solid on Nintendo 64. Cliche. We started on Nintendo, Konami, Contra. Now we're going to go to the Sony side of the Japanese side of things. Understand everything. Your TV and your sound system Sony already, so you know you about to get a Sony PlayStation if you socioeconomically 2 steps above poverty. And then boom, 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 boom on Christmas, probably. And your mama on Section 8 anyway, so let's go. It's probably on layaway, possibly. And Metal Gear Solid. Oh no, you know you're getting it. It's got 2 CDs. Oh, this shit about to be up, nigga. He moving around like Resident Evil too. Oh my God, Capcom. Why don't y'all just condition us to look 360 view around us? Understand everything. You probably understand nothing. Like they even set the tone how you perceive your reality in the fucking simulation space by doing that camera angle. Remember, we came from fucking Nintendo and Sega. Like, they didn't have to ever do that. But they did. And did. The video magicians and did. Where they compressed Resident Evil graphics to do what they did for 64. Crazy kid. Like what I'm saying is they put their best mathematicians behind it, too. Not that was, no. It's not because they're Japanese and they're art school. No. They had problems, technical problems. They had to solve them with math, and they did, nigga. Master Light, Hideo Kojima, nigga. I'll be calling that nigga a director. Hideo Kojima, a totally different type of nigga. But he gave us Metal Gear about David. David had to kill a giant. Metal Gear Rex. But Metal Gear was solid. And so was Snake. He said they vaccinated us as kids. They wanted the fox to die, Japan. Fox died, nigga. They didn't stand out, COVID? Hideo Kojima was warning us not to get that fox die, nigga. Especially if you're a descendant of David, nigga. They're targeting Jews. But the Patriots. It's the Patriots. Ooh, AI. Look at us. Virtual reality. Ooh, the Matrix. That ain't what Hideo Kojima magic was. He was talking to Jews. It's a story about David and Goliath. That's Judah. For sure. Swear to God. Swear to God, bro. Japheth lined us up. I don't know why, though. What I'm saying is, hats off or whatever the fuck. I don't understand why they had to do it that way. I don't understand the NDA is what I'm saying. They have an NDA, bro. Like, Japan has a fucking NDA for some fucking reason, bro. Like, you feel me? I don't think anyone fucking feels me. It's like they don't know Jews or Israelites, but they have a whole fucking industry about the descendants of David. That's the only fucking reason why we know him, by the way. Over here, in this ghetto. Right? Fair? It's very fair. Mario Brothers is iconic, but Mario Brothers 2 is the same story, but Mario is trying to go in a more international direction. The other company says, no, we want to stay locked in on niggas. I need y'all to understand something. I need you to understand something about Japanese people and these tactics I've uncovered. When Street Fighter was based, do you know what Street Fighter was based on? It's based on Jean-Claude Van Damme and Mike Tyson. Those niggas were platinum in the hood. Jean-Claude Van Damme might as well have been motherfucking Bruce Lee all over again when it came to these hood niggas. We don't know why. He looked like Ricky Martin family. I don't know what Jean-Claude Van Damme is. That shit sound French, but you know how Lakeisha and Latavia is. But whatever hell that little nigga is, he be dancing. And, you know what I'm saying? The hood loved him, and he always had the cool movies. Fake as fuck. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Like, he was in it. He's splitting, doing flips and punching niggas. You know what I'm talking about. Jean-Claude. He had a short run too when you think about it. Him and Mario Van Peebles. Too short of a run. But they gave us Jean-Claude Van Damme in Street Fighter. So it's kind of like, his movie company and Jewish managers wouldn't let him sell his likeness. So they got us Guile. But they made him white with blonde with an afro. Come on. Hold on. To be beguiled. What is to be beguiled? Understand everything. They made this motherfucking blonde hair, blue-eyed German. I'm sorry. Japan, World War II, and the Holocaust. So they made this blonde hair, blue-eye German beguiled, to be the captain of America. Hold on, slow down. Ought to have been Jean-Claude, but Jean-Claude is none of those degrees, is he? I don't know if Jean-Claude is German, but Guile definitely has to be. And Japanese know the difference. They just got bombed for it. So, to be guiled, to put the Jew German as the captain of America. But they understand the Kabbalah, so you invert the polarities. Mr. America is a Jew with an afro. Flash, kick, sonic boom. Yeah, like a sonic boom. Sound benders. Yeah, that's crazy. They got hands. And they can do backflips. One of Judah's kids. You saw it? I did it again. I know. That's crazy. I'm saying, but how convenient is that? How random and non-probable that would ever land anything I'm talking about, ever. But there it is. And then slid Mike Tyson in that shit. So they was doubling it up. They was going double down on us, bro. Japan doubled down on us. Street Fighter went platinum, bro. They doubled down on us. They had us with Mr. America. Afro, got hands, can do backflips. You ain't never met a white boy like that in human history. Japan trying to say something, bro. Hold on, I just got a message. Belgium, yep. Parents are surname Van Varenberg, Belgian. He's Dutch. So German, Dutch, Pennsylvania. JPX, Composure Slim, King Will. I have watched Bloodsport at least 100 times. His parents are Eugene and Eliana Varenberg. They're Jews. No wonder the hood loves him. Japheth and the Jews from Germany. I love this story. Sizzle 560. King Will says, Asir, the Duke of Tears, was on point about the gay GATE program. I got to tell him about the freckles on the right forearm. Oh, was he in the gate program, or is he talking about the gate program? I think he's too old to be in the gate program. He's a boomer. Jonathan says, all those stories were the most effective rocks in the pond. Reverberations broadcasted out. Kojima equals Magico. Magic, yeah. Video magic. The double disc Metal Gear. Come on, you was outside Shogun. Put a fucking C4 in that nigga tank. Destiny Swap 2. Balrog is M. Bison in Japan, and M. Bison is Mike Tyson. Yeah, copyright infringement type shit. The hood knew what was going on. The babies knew fucking Balrog is Mike Tyson, obviously. We just didn't know that Vega is actually the demon god. That's who Bison should be. Balrog should be Vega, the pretty boy. But Vega is God. Bison. He had godlike powers. But that's what but the Japan, again, they strike again. They're like, how do we filter out the obvious for this American blonde hair, blue-eyed standards that we adhere to, international trade? And it's like, so we gotta play musical chairs, like, all right, we'll make the pretty boy, Gemini ass nigga from Spain more We make the two-faced Moors Vega, so the demon. So the two-faced Moors are the demon now. And we take the demon god and make him Master Bison. Well, Bison, Native American culture, but he's a bicentennial American that has a jinn inside of him, like kind of like Solomon or Genghis Khan, if you think about it. And then, you know, his army is coming soon. And then you have Mike Tyson, which is obvious. He's a celebrity. He's a boxer. But they named him Balrog. Like they assigned him that variable. He should have just been in Bison instead of Mike Tyson. But, you know, for copyright purposes, like, nigga, you still playing with his name, bro. Don't play with me. But they made him Balrog instead, which I think was supposed to be Vega. Well, we know it's Vega. I think that's the way the story goes. One of them's a demon, though. What I'm saying, I think maybe Balrog's a demon. So they made the nigga the demon. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is they said the nigga in America is a demon. Similar to in Bison, who has demon powers. Similar to the Moors of Andalusia, who have a mask on to hide their true face. And I was like, oh shit. What I'm saying is, whether they scrambled or unscrambled the eggs, scrambling the eggs was even way more profound. The black demon, the Khan, General Khan, Shao Khan with the demon power. The other demon, you see how Mike Tyson is, demon form, but demon powered, psionic, and then the two-faced, the Moor, but he's passing. Maybe he's taking a shot at those Moors are now light skinned, but they have a mask on, a white mask on. Yeah. Oh, they snitching, bro. Yo, they salty about World War II for real. Yeah, they were salty about World War II for real, nigga. They were salty about World War II. Hitler was on to it too, right? So obviously, if Hitler and Japan had correspondence, they was on to it. Japan said, fuck it. Let's get back to this kanji script. We're gonna go back to the basics on Khan and shit. I get it now. They must have an Ark Khan over there. I'm just telling you something. Hebrews 13, beware everywhere. There's an Ark Khan out there, boy. I'm telling you something. If I ain't supposed to figure that shit out, I ain't even supposed to figure that out. Niggas ain't even supposed to, you ain't supposed to figure that out. Niggas ain't supposed to figure that out. Hold on. Let me pause the tape real quick, and I'm gonna do another live in just a few minutes. Peace.